Hello.
I had sex with your mom.
And the stream ends. The end.
And we're done. No,
Good session, guys.
good
Phase
session. Yep.
outro music.
Yep. Oh, yeah. If somebody wants to make some, that'd be great. I don't have any. Um. So hi. We're here. Playing another session of Iodithis. It's session 2. So it'll be getting into it still. Because we had session 1 2 weeks ago. Again, as a reminder, it is every 2 weeks, every other Wednesday. So yeah, I mean, I'm just gonna do a recap real quick, get that out of the way. So the party were on a small cluster of islands in the Pinmont Cay, located in the center of Iodithis in the Cerulean Isle. And they'd crash landed there after being on a mission to deliver some cargo across the Strait of the Ancients, from one city to another, in between, internationally, so to speak. They were attacked by some pirates, crash landed, and skipping forward a few days, they were promised by the guard that they would get a boat, transportation back to the mainland to finish their mission if they did a little quest for them. Go into the woods, kill or capture this gang leader and some of the gang members if possible, save a hostage, the captain of the guard's son. And then they'd get rewarded with 200 gold apiece per party member. Each one would get 200 gold apiece plus the ship. It's a pretty good gig. So they took the gig, went out there, and ended up aligning with the gang leader instead. And then met someone who became a new party member, for now, unless they decide to betray everyone and kill them or they die, one or the other. That would be Vakten. Give a wave, Vakten. There you go. There's Vakten. And yeah, so that it was an eventful session, session 1, where they stood off against the guard and killed all of them. A lot of people died as well. Documents were stolen from the Adventurers Guild there, and then they hopped on their boat and fled. And now that's kind of where we start. You guys are on a boat. I'm gonna say you probably there for the day. You handed out the money. You've got about 2 days of journey left before you arrive at your destination. So you were coming originally from Dunhurst in the Scotian Empire on the left side of the Strait of the Ancients. On the west, brain fart there for a minute, and now you're heading east, and you're going to Dumcivok in the Dobris Dominion, where you're delivering the cargo. So far the waters have been nice for this past day. How do we feel? Is there anything? I know one of you showed interest in doing something on the boat. That would be Isaac, who is all the way to my right on the screen. You had something you want to do?
Yes.
Okay.
But seeing as there's 2 days left in the journey, I will hold off on that.
Okay. So are you thinking of doing this when? Because I'll just kind of, as we go, I'll keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm.
Are you thinking like near the end?
Yeah.
Okay. So then I will keep that in mind, and before the journey ends, I'll make sure to touch base with you on that. Okay. So with that said, on this day would be, I apologize, I wasn't entirely ready, didn't have the calendar in front of me here, and I meant to have that up. So let me grab that real quick and get that playing as well as we go. Yeah, it's not going to open. So it was the 10th, so now it's the next day. It'd be the 11th of Christios. It's a fairly nice day. Again, the waters are fairly nice this day as well. Clear skies, very few clouds up there. Things seem good. Is there anything anyone would like to do on this day? Anything in particular?
You said the ship would be quite packed, didn't you?
This is correct. So, I'm glad you brought that up, yes. So, the ship is quite packed. There is, in total, there's 19, 28, 30, 30 people and then the 5 of you. And it is a relatively small ship. It is probably... I don't have the exact map of it here, but it is a relatively small ship. When you're taking a rest, a lot of people the night before did it in shifts because some people had to stand and some had to lay down because of how little room there was. A lot smaller than the ship that you guys originally came to the island on. So yes, quite packed.
Case Elia will just do shit, like sort of Karate Kid at the bow of the ship, then moves or whatever with the wind.
Okay. And so all of you kind of, as you make your way around, you see that happening at the little bow of the ship there. Okay. There's a couple waves that hit, and it's like, if it wasn't for your balance, your training, your long span of training in this, you probably would have fallen. Most people would have fallen off, but you kind of caught yourself, went back right into it. Some people didn't even notice there was an issue.
Miyagi style.
Yeah. But yeah, so you're doing that. What about Connor? Does Lucia have anything he'd like to do? Anyone you want to talk to?
None in particular. He's kind of been chilling towards the bow of the ship, sitting somewhere, keeping himself as small as possible. He's not happy about lots of people in one small place.
Fair enough. I will say for you, Lucia, some people do kind of are looking at you a bit because augments. That's a big thing for you. Your legs, your arm a little bit, your hand mainly, your face especially. They are not an uncommon thing in this world, but the type that you have are much different and have a lot of the, or rather are lacking a lot of the telltale signs of Runesidir augments using the crystals, like the one that you found. And so a lot of people are kind of eyeing it. You catch Deadlock looking a couple times as well. You and him had an interesting conversation previously. And so there's that. Edna, is there anything Edna would like to do on the boat?
Nothing in particular.
Nothing in particular. Alright. Also, Krabby, thank you. I'm glad to hear that someone had been talking about me. It's flattering. But yeah, so then for Vokta, you'd be the last one up here. Is there anything you'd like to do while on the boat, either on the first day or second? I will say.
I like to imagine I'm probably just walking around, kind of just. For the most part, you see me looking up towards the sky. Nothing in particular. Grumbling unintelligible words to myself. I like to imagine at one point when whomever the elvish monk or the monk was meditating, a wave came by me and I just kind of pushed to the side. Not by any badass means. It splashed all over me and I kind of just waved my arms around, but I was just grumbling unintelligibly.
Love it. Okay. Yeah. And so you're going kind of doing that, and you do. I'll say you get some looks as well, because these men had, not all of them, but some of them had met you, and had because Deadlock had worked with you, and he does at one point. I'll probably say on that first day, come up to you and is like, "You did good work. Got the job done. It was messy, but you did good work."
I only do good work.
That's why I knew I'd like you. And then he'll go about his thing, and he goes and talks with some of his men. Now, something you all would notice. There is a very definite split here. Despite how little room there is, the crew of the ship, numbering 9 plus the captain, are staying up near the wheel, with the cargo. Deadlock's men are very much on the other side, taking up more of the room, most of the front of the ship. There's not a lot of room in between. They're definitely still utilizing the room that they have, but there's this little bit of a split in between. And so they're kind of keeping away from each other as much as they can, it seems. And so just something of note. Now let me do a quick roll here. Okay. And so as you go, again, the second day, first day goes completely without issue. That was the day you guys got on the boat. You made good headway. Second day goes mostly without issue as well. It's the night of that second day. Actually, I'm going to say apologies. This is going to be the night of the third day. Something is going to happen. Now, the question is this. For Lucky, you were waiting to do your thing. You said you were going to probably do that on the last day?
Yeah.
So you would probably do this before this. So let's do that first real quick.
Okay.
So, for you, you wanted to... You said get one of the papers.
Right.
Here's a question for Lucia, then. You were the one who got the papers. Would you have ever handed them over? Because I'm going to say you were never asked for them yet, but would you have gone and handed them over to Deadlock, the captain, and
No.
everything? No. Okay. And being on a small cramped ship like this, I'm going to say that, Isaac, you would know this. You would know that Lucia still has the papers. You never saw them be handed to anyone. So you would know where they are.
Okay.
So you go up. Or do you attempt to sneakily steal them from Lucia? What do you do?
Sneakily steal them. Sneakily steal. There's a bunch of
Interesting.
people. We're gonna walk through them, kind of not really like pushing them around or pushing them out of the way, but just kind of bobbing and weaving.
Make me a... I'm going to say make me a stealth check, and this will count kind of for that. Yeah, I think that... I'll say stealth check, yeah.
Can I make
That's
the
it.
argument that Lucia would be using perception rather than his passive because of how on edge he is on the ship?
I will allow you to make that argument, so go ahead and roll for it.
Do I trust my dice, or do I rather use the dice bot?
Whichever you'd like to use.
Bot. I trust the bot more right now.
I don't have it open, so please do tell me whatever the number is.
I will. Forgot how to use the dice bot. Give me a moment.
I got it a dirty 20 on my stealth.
Dirty 20 on stealth, okay. And let me ask you a question. Is your plus to sleight of hand or stealth different? Because I'm thinking, should have had you do sleight of hand. Are they the same or different?
They're different.
Is the sleight of hand higher?
No.
Then I'll
It's
allow you to
15.
keep the stealth. Said 15? Okay, so you, Isaac, you were able to make it up. There's a lot of people, and Lucia, you're not paying as much attention to necessarily the papers and where they are as the people around you. There's a lot of people, and I don't think you'd be expecting this. And so, with those rolls, Isaac, you're able to come up. Are you just grabbing one at random? Or all of them? What are you grabbing?
We'll grab like, how many are there?
There is, I'm going to say 5. They're more like sort of stapled together stacks of papers, but there's 5 of those stacks of varying thicknesses.
Okay, we're gonna grab 3 of the stacks.
3 of them. Okay.
Yeah.
So you reach in, grab 3, slip them somewhere out of sight. As far as you can tell, as far as you know, no one the wiser. I will say there is not much of an under to the ship. It's mostly just flat on top, but there is a little bit of an under space where there's some barrels and stuff. In case you wanted to check them down there. But that's really the only place that would have any kind of secrecy, if that's something you wanted to do. So, there you go. So you have the papers. Are you wanting to do anything with them now, or are you wanting to wait on that?
I do want to do something with them. Where, how like tall is the ship as far as crow's nest?
I'm going to say that's probably... I don't know the average height of a crow's nest on a ship this size, so I'm just going to come up with a number, and I'm going to say it's about 75 feet. That's
Okay,
actually
we're
very
just-
incorrect. I apologize. That is way too tall. I'm going to say more like 50.
Okay, we're gonna climb up it then.
Okay. Climb the crow's nest. I'm not going to have you roll for this because there'd be a ladder. It's not a super difficult task. You can get up there. There's no one up there currently.
Alright, so that's where we're gonna look through the papers.
Okay. And so you get up there and you look through these papers. In these papers. Let me do a thing. There we go. Okay. And so, looking through these papers, the first one is for a small tavern. Looking at the records of money they brought in, these are older papers from a couple months prior. These are, again, papers for businesses on the mainland, spread across the bay you're going to be entering into. First one for a small tavern, the Lusty Maiden. And it's a 2-story place, got some rooms, got booze, food. Seems like a fairly okay place. Second one is for a sort of small traveling merchant business. It seems like something you're noticing with these is they're almost just started businesses, practically started within the past year, perhaps. And the second one, again, being just sort of a small business of traveling merchants. They do mail. They do a lot of different things as well. Sort of an all-in-one thing. Think like Amazon, sort of, I guess, where they'll deliver things to different places. The third one is for a carnival. And this one in particular, you notice the name of where it's located. Dumcivok, which is where you're currently going. At least that was the place next on its stop. And it's starting in a week. A week from today is when it starts, is the next sort of booked event. But so that one is there. So that likely would probably be, out of the ones you grabbed, the first one that would be looked into. In case you want to write this down, the Lusty Maiden, that one's located in a city off near Kingsport. It's not located in Kingsport, but a small town outside of it. And then the merchant business, that one is... trying to think here. That one's actually back where you originally came from, near the Darksire Mountains, actually near where you originally lived. Again, started within the last year. It's not quite the path you would have taken to get to Dunhurst. It's a little more south, but it's off that region. And so that's the 3 that you grab.
Okay. I have a question for you.
Ask away. Any questions you have, yeah.
So, I do not have... Okay. I'm just gonna put the papers in my bag.
Put them in your bag? Okay.
Yep.
Keeping those. And so, keep the, write that down that you've got them. That way, don't forget. So there you go. And in here, just for reference, it's again a sort of 3 months, we'll say 4 months for one of them, worth of earnings. There's a small list of stock of what they've got. Just like if it's the Lusty Maiden, it's just like booze, food, stuff like that, just listing it. And then it's got the title, the deed as well. So that is what it is in each of one of these sort of packets. And so there you go. Anything else anyone would like to do this day before the night of the last day when something will happen? Okay. And so, I just have a question. Because as you go to sleep that night, at different times, same time, doesn't make a difference. Whenever you go to sleep, who wants to go first? Because as you drift off to sleep, something will come to each of you in a dream. Question is, who wants to go first? And for that person, Do you want it private, where only me and you and stream hear it? Or do you want it public, where everyone does? I'll take volunteers. Aaron volunteered. I saw that hand shoot up. And do you want it public or private?
Be private. That sounds fun.
Private. Okay. Well, then for the other 4 of you, I'm going to just deafen you for a moment. Howdy, bitch.
Hey.
So, you drift off to sleep, Edna. It's been an eventful few days for you. Not so much on the boat. It's been very cramped, but a lot more people than I think you'd be used to. But it hasn't been very eventful there. But the day before, plan didn't go exactly as planned. A lot of people died.
There
Hey,
was no plan. Edna did not know.
Edna did not plan.
Edna
You did
was
what you
told
thought
to
planned.
make distraction.
Yeah, and you did. And you did. So as you drift off to sleep, thinking of these recent events, and there is one thought that might cross your mind. That of what you heard before you originally got on the boat. You were called by the Druidic Circle to the valley between the Dark Sire Mountains. You were on your way there, and there was something that stopped you initially. The reason you didn't end up there, because you were already on that side of the continent. Why cross? There was another call. Another call from the Circle of the Moon. All the Druidic circles meet in one location, but they're not all housed there. Across the strait, actually toward the location you're going to, is where the Druidic Circle of the Moon meets. They're mainly an Orcish tribe. Not all of them, but majority of them. And so they're located in Dobr's Dominion, the mainly Orcish nation. And so, we're called there. And as you drift off to sleep this night, with this thought in your mind, close your eyes and open them, and it is black, except for dots of stars. And as you look closer, this is not just blackness, it is not a void, but a vast tapestry. And you can see the weaving of the threads as far as the eye can see. These little dots, some of them as you look winking out and winking in, look like stars, but rather just small crystals. And as you blink again and open your eyes, there's a path that stretches out in front of you, looking like gravel. And it leads toward a door. What do you do?
Kick the door open.
Kick the door open. I like it. So you walk up and you kick. And where you should feel resistance, your foot finds air. And you fall off balance as the ground falls out from under you, tumbling into the void under you, before landing flat on your feet. And in front of you, as you open your eyes, is a small clearing in this blackness. It's grass, there's flowers, and there's a tree. One lone tree, standing tall, taller than any tree you've ever seen. There's something in your heart that just pulls you to it. Do you walk toward it?
Yes.
Okay. As you walk toward it, you get about halfway, and a man walks from behind a tree, looking to be possibly a satyr. Horns curling up, sprouting out, moss covering their legs. And they seem to be kind of just taking the knitting needles and knitting black tapestry. And as it trails behind them, the grass dies. And in front of them, flowers are sprouting. And they look to you. Aren't you a curious one? What's your name?
We ask a name without giving a name first. Very rude.
Ah, I suppose. My name is Dramats. And Edna, could you make me a religion check, please?
Fuck the D20. There we go. It's intelligence, right?
I believe so.
That's a 3.
That's a 3. Okay. Okay. Let me just double check something here. Give me a moment, because it's been a hot minute since I had to pull this out. There it is. Ugh. God, I printed this out because it's not pulling up on the internet right now.
Wait, sorry. Actually, it was 25.
Yeah, 25.
Forgot.
I apologize, I did misspeak. I misgendered my own god. This is a woman. I believe I said it was a man. Listen, I put this together like ages ago. It's fine. And I've never used them, so it's cool. But anyway, doesn't make too much of a difference. And so you said it was how much? I apologize. Got off track. It was
3.
3. Okay. You don't recognize this person in the slightest, and the name doesn't ring as much of a bell either. However, regardless, my name is Dramas. So, if I could,
I am Edna.
Edna, so nice to meet you. Well, Edna, you recently received a summons, and I suppose you could just consider me part of the circle.
Continue.
When you received this summons, they said there was a problem, that there was something bad coming. I was the one who sent them that information, along with some of my co-workers, I suppose you could say. There have been things seen. This group you are traveling with are at the center of it. Not all of you, but most of you. And there are others, but they will come. You must be careful of the man you travel with, the one with the arm. I suppose you know which one I'm talking about.
The
Deadlock.
man whose locks are dead.
The deadlocks, yes. You must be careful of him. He is very, very dangerous. However, I would not try to kill him. That would not end well.
I appreciate the advice, but I will do as I will do. I will respond to this summons, and then I will leave. And I will do what I believe to be the correct thing to do, to right the world of the wrongs that have been done to it.
There have been many wrongs, and the ones with you will do more of them. But you have to choose what wrongs are worth fighting, and which are necessary.
Shall see.
And we shall. Well, I suppose I'll let you get back to your slumber. It was nice meeting you, Edna. I suppose we may meet again.
I look forward to it. Quality lady.
Thank you. And then she will walk behind the tree, and it too will wither and die. And then the ground will begin to crumble. Gesundheit. And then...
I don't know where this fucking cough came from, man.
Oh, it was coffee. I couldn't tell. But, yeah. Fair enough. But, it dies. So does the grass. Coming in a wave toward you. And then you wake up in the morning. Sun Would you sleep on the deck, or like, because again, there's a little bit of area down under. Would you sleep on deck?
No. Does it have one of those pointy things at the front?
Yeah. Sleep on
that.
that. Okay, and so you wake on that. The ship rocking a little bit. You catch yourself. But yeah, you're
There's no
good.
catching self. It
No.
is a god.
And it is a
Edna
god.
shan't move.
The gravity holds you up. Okay.
The
All right.
gravity of my existence.
Yes. Okay, and so that's it for you. So I'm gonna deafen you. Hey, bitch, you're next. You're next, and I know you can't. Don't worry, that's not what you're getting. Voxen, this is for you. Hold on, wait, I can't hear you.
There we go. Wait,
There
what?
you go. There you go. You're next. Oh, and I
I'm
know.
next.
I saw your message. I know.
Oh boy. Well, I'm going in private then.
Okay. In private? Okay.
Yes.
And so, you sleep. But being a cow star, you don't dream. And so, you drift off to sleep. Would you sleep on the deck, kind of looking up at the sky?
Yeah, I'd imagine I'd try to go up to the kind of post. What is it called?
The
thing
crow's
he went
nest?
to- The crow's nest, and I just kind of, try to sleep up there.
Okay, that works. And so, you begin to drift off. And there's a bit of mist, not quite rain, but mist that's coming around. And it's hitting you against your face. And then after a second, it's not. It just stops. And you kind of wakes you a little bit, kind of stirs you, that's weird. You kind of look around. And you know you can't be dreaming. It's not possible.
Right.
People that were once walking a moment ago have stopped. Someone climbing up the ladder frozen in place. And behind you there's a very bright light. Do you look at the bright light?
You know I look at the bright light.
Okay. It's up towards the sky, and it's a bit far off. And as you look at it, it starts to take the form of a man. It's maybe 150 feet off, but you can make it out. It's the form of a man. And something in your brain, you should know that face. Why can't you remember that face? Make me a wisdom save.
Wisdom save. A 4, but plus.
Plus what?
Oh boy, it's not gonna be good. Plus 6, 10. No, wait, is it a plus 5 or a plus 6? Let me zoom in. Plus 6, yes.
Okay.
So a 10.
10. I'm gonna say that's enough. You start to get a bit of pain in your head. Push it back. And you look at that face and a name comes to you. Anir.
How do you spell that? How do I spell that? How would I know?
I'll just say you would, because it's fairly common knowledge. It's I-N-I-R.
Okay, let me
Yeah.
over here and. All right, got it down.
Okay. You can't figure out the context behind this name, but it comes in the back of your brain like a whisper in the back of your brain. Like it's someone telling you this name, but you can't figure out the context and why this is important to you. And you see just off in the distance a great lance in his hand, wearing this white and gold armor, blue sash. And he floats there.
Wait, I'm catching up.
Yeah.
Blue sash.
Blue sash. Connor actually did draw a picture of him. I'll have him send it later. I'll probably, while I'm doing Connor's dream sequence, have him send it.
What was it?
And then
A lance.
a lance and white and gold plate armor.
Plate armor?
Plate armor. White and gold, yep. And he floats there in the air. Think like Superman. And he just floats there in the air. And he looks at you. And you hear a voice in your head. Although you don't see his mouth move. I know who you are, Vakten. Come find me, and I'll tell you.
Interesting.
And then there's the brightest flash you've ever seen. And force like your thunder wave times 1,000 hits against your body. Like a nuclear bomb going off. There's heat. And you see a vision of a crater where the ocean once was. But then you blink and it's fine. And everything's back as it should be. Wasn't a dream. Possibly a warning. Or perhaps. And so that happens, and how do you think Bogdan would be feeling after that?
I feel like he'd be trying to keep his calm. Like, he'd try to look like he's just this badass trying to not phase him, but he'd be breaking out in cold sweats. Like, no joke.
Just like,
Yeah, exactly. Like, he's like wiping the brow away and, like, gusting himself off to make himself look cool as possible. Just kind of taking a breather. I feel like this is the first time in a while he really felt like he needed to take a breath in a literal sense.
Yeah.
Like, he's actually, like, it really winded him for a sec mentally.
Mm-hmm. And so, as that happens, the only reason you can maybe, as this is going on, realize that time has kind of started again, the mist kind of hitting your face, getting mixed with a little bit of cold sweat. And then the guy who was climbing the ladder kind of pops up, oh, sorry, I didn't know you were up there, and starts to climb back down. And people are moving again, things are fine.
This is a cool thing. I just feel like this would be a cool thing for my, because my guy's a tactician, that kind of thing, is right when time stopped, he would have taken maybe a staff or a ball or probably one of those little tiny things and put it in the air, and then that way he'd know when time continued again.
Ah, smart.
And then
okay.
he just caught it.
Got it. You know, hey, sure, it's cool.
Right? Just cool
Yeah,
stuff.
cool thing, yeah. And so, there you go. That happens. And then you are free to get some rest.
Okay, I'm gonna
You
try.
so wish.
I feel like I'd be awake for the whole night. Like,
Yeah.
enough, like, I'd be laying down, so I'd be, like, rested, but not, like, sleeping at all.
I'll give it to you. I'll allow
cool.
it. Yeah, I'll allow it.
Cool, cool.
Plus, just more travel, so you could get a rest at some point if you really wanted to, but that is all for you. I'm going to deafen you again and go to the next unlucky victim. Oh, I know who it's going to be. Connor, you son of a bitch. You're up next. You're up next.
Why am I being called out? Why me?
Because it's you. It's your turn. Unless you looked like you were possibly going to get up. Are you good, or you want me to?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I was grabbing headphones because I was going to listen to something at the same time as waiting, but we could.
Okay. So, you're next.
Okay. I am okay with this being public. I don't really care.
I think we should keep yours private because of kind of what it's going to be about.
Okay, then. We can do that then.
This delves into especially private character things.
Aha. Okay, fair.
And so, Lucia, you begin to fall asleep. And as you're falling asleep, there's this moment where your ears kind of pop, like when you get it to higher altitudes. You kind of shake it off and go to sleep. But then your eyes jerk open and suddenly you're underwater. And there's this bubbling in your ears. And you can feel something almost wet pouring out of your ears. And you kind of touch and look and it's red. And then your eyes, your vision starts to go red. And you can't see. And as you touch your face, it's all flesh, which, as you know for you, that's not right. And you kind of blink it away and shake your head, and it's back. It's back to normal. It's fine. It's nothing. But then as you kind of shake and look, you're in a chair. a wheelchair. And in front of you is a canvas and an easel. And behind you, you hear a thump. Big footsteps. And as you turn your head a little bit to your left, you see a large feline face. Purplish eyes, and a long tentacle wrapping its way around your shoulders, and then around your neck. And it begins to squeeze until you can't breathe. And all you hear next to you is, "Sit still, boy." More of a German accent, but still. And it squeezes and it squeezes. What do you do?
Try to pull it off.
Try to pull it off. And so you start to grab. Make me a strength check.
Yep.
Yeah.
Those are things. That is a 7.
7. Okay. And with the 7, you pull and you pull, and it doesn't come off. And it almost seems like your hands get grafted to it. You can't move your hands. Your arms are stuck. You can move your arms, but just not your hands. They're stuck to this tentacle as it wraps around your throat. And then a second comes and wraps around your leg. You know where you are. Brant, no, that's funny, but no. It wraps the tentacle around your leg and around the wheel of the wheelchair. You can't move, but you know exactly where you are. You remember this day very clearly. This was the day you got your portrait done. The portrait that never got put up. And then you feel a stab through your back. And the tentacle's gone, replaced by a metal manacle holding you down. And it's pulling you further down towards soil, a grave. And then these hands reach up out of the earth and begin to grasp at each of your limbs. These skeletal, mummified hands grabbing and pulling you down further. Do you struggle?
Definitely.
And you struggle against these bony hands, screaming all sorts of things at you, that you're a failure, you're dying, worthless. And they pull you down into this casket. And then the lid is shut on top of you. Tap, 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 tap. Nails bolted into it, one after the other, after the other. Until you're sealed in. And dirt starts to pour in around you, suffocating you. But your body can't move. One thing after the next, your legs first. And then your arm, your spine, your back. And eventually you can do nothing but scream. And then you awake. But the last thing you see before you awake is that crystal that you got. You see yourself holding it over the corpses of all that have wronged you. That's the last thing you see before you wake up. Mull over that for a minute. Hey, Elia. It's your turn.
I'm so excited.
Oh, I know.
Also, did you see what they put in general chat?
I did. Yes, I did, I think. Hold on. In Gen Chat.
Vocton said I look like, in our server,
I didn't
Vocton said I
actually.
look like, apparently I look like Drake on a budget.
Wow. Hold on, I'm gonna look. I gotta see that real quick. That's very funny.
You like kill Vocton's character in this session
I could.
with a Drake.
That is kind of funny though, I'm sorry. Okay. Okay, no. So, okay, it's your turn.
Right.
So, a lot.
Dreams.
Dreams, I know. So you drift off to sleep, and just for a setting so I can get it in my head, would you be up on the deck, or would you have gone to like slight under place? I'm gonna say the only place that's off limits is the crow's nest, because that's where Vakhtyn is. There's really only room for one person.
Because she's an elf, she will be not
Trance.
sleeping normally, but meditating for 4 hours
True.
somewhere on the deck.
Somewhere on the deck. Okay. And that is true meditating. And in your meditation, this is kind of when this will happen. So you begin your meditative state. And as you sit there, something you've done for literal hundreds of years, something you're quite used to, a mist starts to kind of go over your vision as you kind of open your eyes for a moment. You just have this urge. You have to open your eyes. I don't know if you've ever had that happen, but where you have your eyes closed and you just have this thing in your head where you have to. And you just get that strong, intense feeling. And so you open your eyes and there's this mist across the water, across the ship. You can't see more than a foot in front of you, in fact. As you look around for a moment, there's steps around you. Very light footsteps, almost imperceivable footsteps. They're walking behind you. And you feel breath on the back of your neck. What do you do?
Punch it in the face. I just sort of spin around to see who it is.
Okay. And behind you, crouched behind you, is this man. Very angular face, little spectacles at the end of his nose, and he's just looking at you, sort of crouched down, doing like the Slav squat, kind of just crouched behind you, looking at you, studying you, breathing heavily. Do you do anything?
Sort of. Right then. That's fair enough. And then just walk the other way.
And as you stand up to walk, he follows. He stays a good couple feet behind you as you walk around. Again, you're on the ship still, so you can't run away necessarily unless you jump overboard, so he just kind of follows you.
Wait, how long is the ship?
I'm gonna say, I don't know map. I'm gonna say it's probably about good 50 feet.
So she's gonna walk to the back of the ship, wait for him to sort of catch up,
Uh-huh.
and then just be at the other end of the ship. It's
Okay.
like almost instantly, just dead sprint.
And you dead sprint. You run. You turn around and look back. He's gone. And then you feel that breathing on the back of your neck again. He's right there too.
Yes.
And he's going to just say one phrase. I am going to make you into something perfect. Do you say anything back?
Due to her having run to the front of the ship, will he be crouched on the bow?
I'm going to say he's more so, not so much on the bow, he's kind of right next to you more so. Because that's true. If you like back is right to it, he couldn't be behind you. I'm going to say he's more next to you, still standing on the deck. But he is next to the edge.
Did she attempt to push him over?
You can make me a, I'm going to say, just roll the hit like you're doing an unarmed strike.
Yeah. Is 12 to hit.
12 to hit. That actually will not. And so you go to push, and he steps out of the way, and he's going to grab your arm. And you're going to feel this searing pain on your arm. Like hundreds of needles stabbing into it. Burning hot needles stabbing into your arm. And he's going to look at you. There's nowhere you can run to stop me. Oh, and tell Lucia I said hi.
Mention of nowhere. There being nowhere to run, she will shit herself.
Yeah.
Like, she won't know how to react. Because I don't know how to react.
Fair enough.
But she's just gonna be like sort of gobsmacked, stunned.
Okay. And with that, you will awake, and you have not moved physically. You are still exactly where you were. The mist is gone. It is morning. Or rather, because you only go 4 hours, it'd be in that 4-hour period. For you in particular, because this is really the only one that applies to, being the only elf here, is there anything else you want to do in that 4 hours after you wake up? Or before you go to
Check
sleep?
everyone on the ship. Sort of check everyone on the ship, to see if I can find anyone that matches what that guy looked like.
I'll tell you no. There's not a single person on here that matches how he looked at all. You look through, there's not hundreds of people to look through. You get through in probably a good 15, 20 minutes just walking around real quick in a sort of maybe panic state, kind of like, there's no one there at all. And so you don't recognize this man. You've never seen him before. You feel the voice is familiar, like you've heard it in a dream before. But you don't recognize his face.
In that case, he's then going to move over to Lucia to check, not invasively or anything, just like if she can see from how they're laying normally, if he has any sort of needle or puncture wounds.
Make me an investigation
Similar
check.
to how she felt. Yep.
Okay.
Isaac put a liar fighting her demons right now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
That's an 18.
18? They're old and they're scarred over, but they're larger needle marks. They're mostly on the... what parts of his arm from his clothing would be exposed? Lower arm, upper arm. Larger needles, there's dozens. So there could be a connection there. But they are older, and you can tell that they've been there for a long time, and none of them seem recent.
And she's going to check if she herself has any. Hoping that she doesn't.
You don't. You don't. Actually, I apologize. That is a lie. You would. You have one. It's not on your arm, like where he grabbed you. But it's sort of on your back, like up here, somewhere you wouldn't normally look. And you kind of are just looking yourself over, and you look. And back here, there's similar, but it's newer. Not from tonight, you can tell. It's not bleeding, but it's scabbed over. Probably a few days old.
She'll make sure to cover it up for now. Just sort of move her clothes over. Make sure it's not visible to anyone sort of gazing her over. And then she's going to go back into Mr. Miyagi style meditation.
Okay. Well, we have one last person I have to get through, and then we'll get to whole group things. Yay! Isaac,
Oh no.
I saved you for last. So, as you drift off to sleep, having gotten your papers and then spending the rest of that day and then now into the last. This has been a very... Yes.
Before you start the dream, is this going to be spicy or anything?
Spicy
Because
how?
if not, I'll go ahead. I'll go ahead and share it with the group. I don't really care.
Yeah, no, if you want to, we can. I honestly totally forgot for Elias. Technically, it could have been, it could have been public, but we both forgot. Yeah, hold on. Hey, yo, we're doing Isaac's, but they didn't care if you heard, so here you go. You guys can listen to Isaac's, because Isaac didn't care, so here we go. So, this will be the last one. So, Isaac, it's been a pretty uneventful trip for you on this boat. It's pretty, would you say, pretty happy about that?
Yeah.
Yeah? So you drift off to sleep. Make me a sanity check, please.
Oh god damn it.
And don't forget, you're on a boat. You use that number.
Yeah, what's the modifier for an 8? It's -1 or -2?
-1.
Okay, so that's a 17.
17. Drift off to sleep, and you're... No bad thoughts creep in as you do. As you drift off to sleep, you have dreams of this boat. This boat in particular that you're currently on. Although it's got a new paint job. Flying a different flag. And it's got different crew. As you look at this, almost looking at it from sort of a sky view, you see something moving under the water. A large creature. And it kind of raises up out a little bit. And at first you think, okay, it's maybe just a whale. Whales are pretty big. No fin. Then it disappears under the waves. And then you see it rise again. But way back there as well. A second hum comes up. And it goes through the water. And it looks like the people on the ship are panicking, rushing about this way and that, loading the small cannons that are set up on there, although there are none currently on the ship you're on. There are on this. They're loading the cannons as quickly as they can, getting them aimed, moving them from side to side, getting them aimed at this large creature. And then it disappears beneath the waves again. Time passes. Uneventful. Before it comes up, right below the ship, maw open, and snaps the whole thing. Its mouth gaping larger than the ship itself, encompassing it. Then you hear a voice off in the distance. You're cursed. Isaac. That is your demon. What will you do about it? And there's silence. Do you say anything?
I will ask this weird mystery voice, what can I do about it?
Go to the island north of here. Between Mustrian and Kelalari. And if you look on the map, there is a small cluster of islands. Go there, and you will find what you need to slay your demons. And in your head, you do kind of get an image of a location. Looks like a sort of overgrown temple. It looks like a very jungle type region. Lots of trees, vines, everything overgrown. And it looks like there's a city within. A small temple that flashes in your mind. And as you kind of blink, you can still see this place very clearly. And you get this innate sense of about where it is, what islands are being referenced. And of course I can show you, I can mark them on the map if you'd like. Or
Yes,
later.
please.
Okay, I'll make sure to do that after the session, because I'll be going through it and, you know, re-listening. And so, do you see that? Is there anything you'd like to say or do?
Nope. I'm just going to be completely trusting with this mysterious voice.
Completely trusting, okay. And so, with that, you awake. And I'm glad everyone's here now, as it's the morning of the next day. All of you had your various dreams. And on this morning, it's still... The estimate was a bit off about when you'd arrive. You're arriving the morning instead, rather than that night. And so, as you all kind of sit up from your various rests and look across, you see land. This land is very deserty, although you can see a large, very large town. People bustling about on the dock as you're making the very last bit in. It's going to be about 10 minutes to get docked. Any conversations any of you would like to have with the crew, with Deadlock's gang, with each other before you dock?
I will move to Lucia and see if they are willing to talk about things. In particular, needles and puncture wounds.
I'm guessing you're about to message me something, Connor.
No, it switched mics when I plugged this in, and I was trying to get that out.
I see.
Yeah. What exactly do you ask him? Because that would change how he answers.
I cannot hear Connor.
You cannot hear Connor. Hold on. Did I do thing? No, I don't have server muted, and I can hear.
You can't have up to neither.
Can anyone else hear Connor?
I hear him.
Yeah.
Okay.
I hear Connor.
It may be me.
Okay.
2 seconds.
Okay, you're good. No, stream. No. Okay, we're good. We're good again.
Stream will be fine. You're
Yeah.
fine.
There
That's
we
fine.
go.
Fuck the stream. Let it die.
That's better. I can hear
Oof.
everyone now.
Hey.
Howdy. I was basically saying, what exactly do you ask Lucia? Because that'll change how he answers.
She won't be very sort of front with it, but she'll kind of ask if if Lucia has had any bad experiences with needles and injections.
There is something we've talked about, Connor. It was from an old thing, but yeah.
Still can.
Still canon.
I would say that I have. Why exactly do you ask that?
I noticed last night you have several, in fact quite a few, old scarred over puncture wounds, quite large if I may add. Don't mind me having a look. I hope it's not weird or anything. It's just I the weird dream and needed to check something afterwards.
Have to make sure I understood this correctly because I'm going to be honest, I'm having a slight bit of trouble with audio currently. She was talking about her own or his?
Talking about seeing Lucia's,
Okay.
because she had a dream.
Okay. He just kind of looks down at his scars for a moment. I mean, others have seen this too. I wouldn't mind if you took a look. It's not exactly a private thing. I don't hide it.
Would you mind if I asked where they're from?
I don't want to turn you down on that, but maybe not here.
And she'll sort of like nod and I completely understand. And then she'll sort of go and show a fresh puncture wound. It seems a couple days old on her upper back near her shoulder.
Do you mind if I look at that?
Not at all.
You take a closer look.
Okay. Go ahead and make me a medicine check, Lucian.
What is my medicine plus? Okay. 18.
Okay. With your knowledge of just anatomy in general and your knowledge on the body of mortals, kind of looking at this, you can gauge it's probably happened while you're still on the Pinmont K. Probably not before that, and not since you left. It was, you're pretty sure while you were still there. It looks about that old from the scabbing over. And the size of it is about the same as the ones that you have.
Do you know where this came from at all, or?
Could take a few guesses, but I can't remember receiving this one specifically.
This leads to another question. When exactly did you get this? Or did you just notice it?
I noticed it last night, being completely unaware of it beforehand.
I see. If you want to talk more, I'm not going to be against it, but I would prefer not to keep. I would prefer to keep certain things less public.
It's fine by me. And she'll sort of readjust her clothes to cover the thing back up.
Are you guys wanting to have that conversation now, or would you mind waiting? Get the others in here as well. Okay. And so, again, the rest of you are awake as well, if you weren't already. Having your own experiences the night before. Is there anything any of the other three of you possibly want to say to anyone else? Or anything else? Before you dock? No? Okay. I'd like you all to make me a perception check.
23.
3. Okay. thing open so I can see the roll there. And then whoever's next, if you can go ahead and see it.
Looking for my addition. Perception.
Okay.
23.
23. Okay. Oh, two 23s then. 9,
I-
19.
Could I use my passive instead?
I'm gonna say since you already rolled, no. You'll have to declare before you roll. But I would allow it just
I was debating.
yeah. Just for future, declare before you roll. But yeah, you can always use your passive if I ask for a perception check, unless I'm like, no, you can't for this reason. So there's that. I believe that's it's everyone. So okay. Alaya, you do not notice. You're gonna notice the big thing, but you're not gonna notice the second detail, and I'll say which one that is. So everyone here, including Alaya, sees in the sky this bright red and orange fireball flying through the sky. Comes through the clouds and just across the sky. Large, looks like a massive ship, like a ship that would sail on the sea. But on the back, there's this large sort of spiraling thing, looking almost like a snail's shell. And it comes through the sky. And almost out of sight, before crashing in the Dobris Dominion, which is the nation that you are now entering now that you've docked. And it seems to have landed somewhere possibly in the desert, as that you would know, most of you would know just from basic knowledge, mostly desert region where most of the sand in the world is located. Crashes. Before it crashes, though, those of you that rolled, everyone but Alaya, I'll just keep it simple, everyone but Alaya, does notice one thing before you see it crash. As the flames start to dissipate, chunks of it flying off and just landing somewhere. On the front of it, it looks like there's large tendrils on the front. That's all you see before it goes down. Out of sight. Looks like it's maybe a couple miles off. So, who knows? And most of the people on the dock entirely stop what they're doing. Your ship kind of hits the dock a little bit because of the that nobody paying attention to like bring it in. But that had everyone's attention, and people are kind of freaking out a little bit. The guard and
As it
whatnot
flies
trying to
through
call
the
people.
sky, as it flies through the sky, Elia will sort of see it and then look down to sort of grab a pair of spectacles almost, because she's extremely old. Then she'll go and put them on to look, and then it'll have already have crashed.
There you go. I like that. There you go. And so yeah, that's what you see. What that is, who knows? And so people start to kind of go back to their duties as the guard kind of calm people down and are like, hey, get back to work, we'll go check. But people kind of reluctantly go back to work and get your ship docked. And then the crew start unloading the cargo. And the captain of the ship, who was the original captain of the ship you came on, comes up to you as your group. All right, so listen, I gotta take the cargo in. Don't know what the fuck that was, but gotta take this in. Do as you will on the town. There's plenty of taverns and places around. There's the Adventurers Guild. You could probably get a room there, or other places. I'm gonna come back to the ship after the job's done, but you're welcome to come with me, but you don't have to. Just make sure you get here before I leave.
When do you plan to leave?
He's gonna kind of take a sip of his flask. Couple weeks. We're gonna stay. After what just happened, the boys need a rest. Probably gonna stay for a couple weeks in town before we go. That was pretty... Well, it was fucked.
Lucia visibly calms at this. Okay.
Yep. You need nothing from me. I'll get going.
I put my hand on his shoulder and stop him right before he walks away. There's something I did want to say.
Yeah.
You said, Adventurers Guild, didn't you?
That's correct.
Is that, gonna take a second. Is that, more of a hero place?
Suppose it's the people who want to be a hero.
I kind of let out a little smile that I'm almost trying to keep down, but I can't quite, and just crack my knuckle. Very nice.
All right. Well, enjoy. It's a nice town. Any kind of little bit of sarcasm that you can pull in from that sentence. It's a nice town. And then he's gonna kind of walk off, and you can hear a lot of the men talking. Oh, we're gonna go get, go and get a drink or something. So a lot of the men get going, carrying the cargo out, carrying the crates.
I'll be right back.
Cool. And so, welcome to Dumcivok, small trading town on the edge of the Strait of the Ancients, and your destination for the journey. But yes, so there you are. As you look around again, there's a lot of people getting to work. Yes, Connor.
What of Deadlock's group? What are they up to?
They're kind of honestly discussing that. You can kind of hear them discussing that right now. Is kind of, all right, boss, what are we doing? And Deadlock, he kind of looks over to you, as you were the one who had the papers. And he's actually going to start making his way over. And so he walks up to the edge. Hey, you, Lucia, right? You got the papers.
Yes, sir. I do have them.
All right, well, hand them over. We're at the edge of our journey.
So, reach in the bag. Looks very fucking confused because he remembered grabbing more than there.
There's only 2 stacks. There's supposed to be 5.
Oh, this is. Just kind of looks at him very fucking nervously.
Uh-huh. And he kind of is looking at, because you have them out right now, right? They're like visible.
Hmm?
Kind of looking at your hand. What kind of shit you trying to pull? And his men visibly tense up at this, at the mention of that.
I'm not trying to pull anything. I don't know.
We had a conversation, you and me, Lucia. We discussed things, and I thought you'd have me. What are you trying to pull?
I really don't know what's going on. There was more than this.
Hand them over. The 2 you got.
And he does.
And he takes them and he rifles through them. Looks. That one and that one. Where's the big one? Where's the big one?
I don't know. They're not there, and I did grab them.
He's gonna
I
kind of
will make sure to be within sort of the very immediate vicinity of this.
Okay. Are you trying to be closer to? Because I mean, yeah, you could be basically directly there, and yeah, you'd be able to get basically anyone from this distance. So yeah, with your movement.
I mean, she can get anyone from off of the boat.
Yeah. Yeah. And so there you go. And so he's kind of gonna look through. All right, listen. Either one of you has the papers, or one of the captain's men stole the papers. Either that or you didn't do your job and didn't get them all. But you seem just as confused as me that there's this view.
I know that I had them.
Yes.
Yeah, so I heard that you didn't do your job, and I started walking over.
Alright.
There a problem here? You can tell I'm definitely practicing different voices. There a problem here?
A little bit. You see, there was supposed to be 5. There's only 2. You're saying, pointing to Lucia, that there was more.
Has anyone left the ship yet?
All the captain's crew.
And we search what we got. We figure out if it's the captain or there. We figure it out right now.
Couldn't agree more. And so he's going to send a couple of his guys after the captain's crew. And they're going to keep their weapons away. But they're going to start catching up. There's going to be about, I'm going to say probably about 5 that go. And as they get up to there, you can see they start to kind of, that's what I'm looking for, hassle, I suppose. Start to have a chat. Captain's crew. All right. Lucia, I want you to look me in my eyes. I want you to tell me there were more, and you're not holding out on me.
I don't have the rest of them. I grabbed what I have. But there were more. I know I grabbed more than that.
Roll what you roll. He's insight. And technically, you wouldn't know. You failed the perception check, so this would be persuasion. Because you wouldn't
19.
know. 19? He's going to look at you. He's going to nod. Shit. I was hoping it to be that easy. I trust you. I was hoping it'd be that easy. All right, what about the rest of you? He's going to look toward Elia. You see anything? Know anything?
So I would have spoken up by now. If you're thinking I took anything, I can assure you I didn't. And she will drop the total of like 3 items she has.
Fair. Going to still insight check that. This would, I would think this is persuasion for you as well, because you didn't know either. You had no part in this. Okay, and just call it what the number is, because, again, I don't have it up.
I can never remember how to spell it, but it is a 6. A lovely 6.
Ah, haha, 6. He is going to look at you, squint a bit. And with a lower roll than a 6, what the hell, bro? He is going to...
Oh!
Yeah, I know. I was fucking shocked. I was like, yeah, you're going to beat it no matter what, but I want the suspense. And so, looked at it, looks at you, and just like, fucking fine. Looks toward Vakten. I trust you. I don't think you do it. You have some pre-built rapport with this man, and you help put the plan together, so he just looks right over. He's gonna look to Isaac. And you. What about you? Isaac. If that is your real name. What about you? You know what happened to my papers?
No clue.
Insight check. That's gonna be deception for you.
I sent it to dice rolls because it's a nat 20.
Mm-hmm. For a total of?
Shoot. 21.
Uh-huh. That is also a 21. So what I'm going to say, it met it. So he's going to look at you, he's going to say, you, I don't know. I'm going to be watching you. And if I find out that you've got him, now you're holding out on me. Well, from those woods when we met, you saw what I did to that guy.
Yeah, but you didn't see me.
No. And I'll learn from my mistakes. Won't make that same mistake next time. And he's going to kind of wave a finger, and his men are going to start gathering up and leaving. And he is going to follow them, giving one last look back. There's one last person he didn't check. But he doesn't seem to think he has to. And so, he's gonna walk off.
You're talking about me, right? Because I wasn't paying attention for a split second. I lost
Oh.
all train of thought.
Fair enough. No, that was Edna. Didn't check Edna.
Yeah, I wouldn't check Ed either.
But checked Isaac first. Thinks he's already got the cold. So.
What the fuck is Edna?
I don't know.
You think Edna has anything? Edna barely has.
Ha,
Well,
barely.
well, Edna now has some money from personal job and 200 gold. So
Yeah,
you're okay.
it's
We're
very
okay. We're doing okay now.
Mm-hmm.
She also has hammer.
Hammer. But yes, you are now alone on the ship. You have the city open to you. And it is... I think it's basically the equivalent of Friday. Although I don't have the calendar in front of me. Well, actually, hold on. I do. Give sec. Give like 2 seconds.
One,
I have the fuck
two.
Hold on.
He didn't do it in 2 seconds.
Okay,
I quit.
Fuck, this is a different calendar. It's fine. Because it's basically the same. It's 10, so it was the 10th, 11th, 13th. Sorry, it is basically Tuesday. It is a day that is called ML. And so, it is the 14th.
What a boring day. I hate when I wake up and it's ML.
Exactly. Control. It's opposite day. It's supposed to be LM, but it's ML. So, that is the day. Say if the place open to you. Is there anything? What do you want to do? What are your plans? You each have your individual goals. You'll eventually have to make your way towards. You could start working on those. What do you want to do?
Should we find a place to stay at least before we split off and do our own things?
Not a bit.
I mean, that
There's no
sounds
reason to
reasonable,
argue.
but
3 people started talking at the exact same time, and I understood none of it.
Edna
My
will find
brain.
own place to sleep.
Sorry, funny
You
thing.
look slightly baffled, Connor.
What just-
I was reading a thing, so I entirely spaced out. My bad. Because my mom was just like, "Hey, can you take dog out?" So we're gonna take a quick break in a minute, so I can do so. But first, I want to see what we're thinking. What are we doing? Looking for a place to stay?
Yeah.
Edna's going off on her own.
Edna going off on her. Oh, okay, well then let me ask real quick for Edna. What are you doing?
What a lovely question. I think we'll get back to that after the break.
Okay, I think let's take the quick break, and then that'll give us time to sort of figure out what we want to do. Because again, you got the town open to you. Where the fuck is my Be Right Back screen? I think it's this one. we are here. Hi. So, we're back after break. Okay, so what do you guys want to do? First come, first serve. It could be a group thing or individual. Doesn't matter to me.
We have to find a place.
You have to find a place to stay.
That's the responsible thing to do.
You could sleep outside. You definitely could do that. It's an option.
Let's find the lusty maiden tavern.
You said, sorry, say that again?
Let's find the lusty maiden tavern in which Isaac has the information from.
You are very quiet. I think I heard what you said, but you are very quiet for me all of a sudden.
Sorry, is this better?
No, you're actually... Is it just me?
No.
No.
Okay, I want to make sure, because if it's just me, I
Apparently.
can fix it. Yeah, I don't know. Check the input device, maybe?
Any better?
No. Maybe you might have to leave and rejoin, perhaps. Yeah. Sometimes that'll fix it.
What the fuck?
Okay.
Is this better?
That is much better, actually, for me anyway.
Awesome. I was saying, let's find the lusty maiden tavern.
Okay, that one is not in this town. That's... I mean, you still could. That's more to the north. That's up by Kingsport, which is a nation over. It's actually over the nation lines using the mountains that you're originally from. You're going across there. So there
Let's
you go.
visit Mother,
You could
if
go
she's
back.
not dead.
No. And so there you go. That's up there. Here, though, just as a reminder, there is going to be Isaac. You do have the deed to the carnival. It's not a week anymore, because by the time you got it, actually, sorry, it's the next day, so it's like 6 days away. Is the start of the carnival that's going to be in this town. That you have the deed for, actually. Like, you are the owner of that carnival now.
I get to get paid for it. Woo!
I mean, if you come to collect. Because until you do, that money is still going to get shipped to wherever the deed was last.
Oh no, we
Yeah.
can't let that happen.
Yeah, because they don't know where you are. They don't know who has the deed, so they'll just ship it to the last owner. So there you go. But that's a thing. Just as a reminder. But yeah, so for today, for this day, what do you want? What are we doing? What do you want to do? You want to find a place to stay? Do you want to just like kind of walk around town till you see a place? Okay. And if so, are we looking like upscale, low scale? What are we looking for? Do we want the trashiest dive bar plus tavern ever? Or do you want something like upscale? What are we thinking?
Sleep with the homeless
Is there-
people.
Sleep with the homeless? You want
I
that
mean,
bad?
Isaac's perfectly fine sleeping on the ship, so
We can afford nice accommodation now.
You can. You have the money to afford something nice. You could also, Isaac said, if I'd sleeping on the ship, you could do that too. Free board. It's not comfy, but you could. So what are we thinking?
How long would it take to get a carpenter to build some sort of cover/shelter? I take it this is now our ship.
It's technically the captain's ship. He was at the one at the helm for the trip. And
But
him
if we
being the one who
steal it-
lost it, it was the one that he was sort of promised it by the guard. It was promised to you as a group. So you could argue that it is your ship. You could make the argument and you could try to convince it. But you'd need a captain. And, so.
I think it'd be pretty cool as a party goal to acquire our own ship and customize it with laser dolphin cannons
Laser dolphin cannons. Okay.
Absolutely.
And somehow this isn't the weirdest shit that I've come back to.
No. No. Okay. Wow.
So trashy place or upscale place?
Yeah, what are we thinking for tavern? What are we thinking? Because that'll determine what you find.
Lucia's gonna vouch for
Elia
somewhere.
will,
Lucius, you said you're vouching
Elia
for
will
somewhere
be
cheaper.
looking out for.
And Elia, yeah, what are you looking for?
Elia will be looking for something more expensive, hopefully more comfortable.
Okay. So we got cheap, we got comfortable. So how about this? I will have you all roll me a perception check for those of you looking for an actual tavern or place to stay. And then I will tell you exactly what you find.
No.
Using passive
Isaac would like to
perception.
roll perception or investigation to look for a certain guild.
I got
Are
a
we-
16.
16? Okay. And for Isaac, you're talking about like Adventurers Guild?
Thieves Guild.
Thieves Guild. Okay. Yeah, you could do so. I'm gonna say I have you do investigation on that. Or perception, I'll let you choose. And Lucia, that's 7?
Mm-hmm.
7.
I'll do.
And then what'll I get?
Can I use my passive on this one?
I will allow you to. Yes.
Because I don't trust the dice anymore tonight.
That's okay.
So that's a 16 passive.
6 passive. Okay. In that case, then we are gonna have. So here's here's how it's gonna go. And Isaac, let me see here. So what was yours for yours as well? And then I'll get to you as well.
I got a 23 perception.
Ooh. Okay. So I will say real quick. I'll do Isaac first since that's on the brain. With yours. So you, as you guys kind of wander around the city, just looking around, you don't see like, hey, this is the Thieves Guild. More so, you see the signs. You see sort of the markers on the wall of, hey, this is a drop location. This is where a drop would be put. This is this, and then you start to see, while they're not exactly arrows, what you would know to be sort of a, hey, it's this way. And it's actually the first one that you see is by the first tavern that you would see as well. The other two, it's a sort of in the middle place, to be honest. It's nicer. It's on the nicer side. It's like upper middle class sort of. It's definitely more comfortable than super trashy, but it'd be more expensive than like the dirt cheap apartment. You get the feeling this is the place that would serve wine, but it's not the fanciest wine. It's like that wine you get in a box, but it's like, hey, this is really good. That kind of wine. So it's that kind of place. That's the first one you do see. You do see one that is more dirt cheap. And as you kind of walk around, you don't really see any super upscale. Not here. It doesn't seem like. You get the feeling like, because on the other side of the city it's slightly more upscale. They might have one over there, but just in the first like 15 minutes, you find the upper middle class, low class, and then Isaac, you do see the path. We'll call it the path to the Thieves Guild. And so, we'll say, who all would be going inside the tavern? And I mean, well, I guess you got to decide which one do you guys want to do. You guys gotta role play it out. When you going to?
I will, without even sort of giving acknowledgement to anyone, automatically turn and start walking towards the nicer one. Just because they've been on a ship for about 3 days, on a cramped ship, and she has old brittle bones. Bones that can snap at her will, but old brittle bones nonetheless. And so she'll go to the more comfortable place.
And so then the others of you would see them go as well. And let me ask Edna, let me ask you a question. Would you at this point still be with the group, or would you have gone off already?
Oh, Edna's definitely gone off by now.
Okay. then I will get to you in just a moment. And so then you that are there, those of you there, see Elia start to go toward the one. They're basically almost right across the street from each other, too. They're almost like competitors, and the one's doing way better than the other. And then across the street is the cheaper one, and so then all of you see that start to go that way.
Quick glance back at the cheaper one. He'll just kind of nervously just follow her.
Follow her, and then Vaktan, what about you?
I assume I can roll my 16 for perception, and instead of looking for which tavern's nicer, or what I saw, I kind of want to know which one looks like they have is any of them more crowded than the other one significantly?
Okay. I would say the cheaper one is definitely more crowded, mainly due to the fact that it's cheaper and a lot more people can afford it.
Okay, then I'll be heading towards the other one.
Toward the cheaper one or the more expensive?
The more expensive, the one with less people.
Okay, so the other two, that works. And then Isaac, are you following them now, or are you going down that path?
So I see them walking into that one, right?
You see them walking into the slightly more expensive.
Okay. So now that I know that they've kind of settled on that one, I'm just going to keep following the signs.
Following the signs. Okay, then we'll kind of do a rotation here. So we'll start with Edna. So Edna, you would have gone off from the group already. Where exactly are you going? You said before, but I apologize. I think or no, you said you had to think about it. Do you have an idea where you were going?
Out of town.
Out of town. Going toward where?
Is there a forest anywhere nearby?
It's mostly desert here. However, there
okay.
is small clumps of trees, a very small forest around this town. Seems mostly planted by men, to be honest. Like they were sort of
Gotcha.
planted here because they needed lumber.
Gotcha.
But it could be considered forest.
She's just gonna hang around there and commune with nature.
Okay. And so you kind of...
She hasn't had the chance to be around nature in a while.
True, you've been on a ship for a few days, and
then she'll probably head out
place.
at some point into the desert and
Okay.
be out there.
To just be out there. Different types of nature. Okay. And so, yeah, you're right now in the forest. And it's...
thinking about her calls.
Your calls. Yes, your summons. Yeah. And so, there you go. And you're doing so. We will go to Isaac. So, Isaac, you're following the signs. Make me one more investigation check, please.
21.
21. Okay, so with a 21, you begin... excuse me. You begin to walk down this path, these alleys. And eventually it does take you to a ladder. Seems to point up to the roof. Do you climb?
Yes.
Okay, so you climb up on the roof, and on one of the chimneys you see a sign, and it's pointing northward. And you don't see where it leads for a moment. Usually you can see the next sign. If you kind of crane your neck a little bit, you can see it from where you are. It's still hidden, but you can find it. You don't see one. And so you kind of walk a little bit to the edge. And then you look down. And there's this small courtyard, you realize, between a few buildings with no entrance or no exit. It is just enclosed with buildings. In the center is a small picnic table. On the very side of it is a sign. But you're up on like a two and a half story building almost. And you look down. And yes, I'm getting into tropes here. There is a bale of hay. However, there are other ways down as well. But, you know. So there you go. And so you do see the next sign on this picnic table.
Screw it. We'll jump into the bale of hay.
Make me an acrobatics check to make sure you can land safely.
Takes 15 fall damage.
It's possible.
17.
17. And so, channeling your ancestors through the animus. No, I'm kidding. you jump, and most of the landing is you. You controlling your fall and making sure you land safely. But it does cushion your fall enough. You're not falling from hundreds of feet up, so you're okay. You land, and then do you walk over to the bench?
Yes.
Okay, what's your passive?
16.
1 moment. Said, sorry, you said 16?
Yes.
Okay. Seems like a completely empty courtyard as you walk up. And so you walk up and you see this symbol. And again, these are not words, these are not letters, arrows, or anything like that. But it essentially would mean you've arrived. This is the place. This is where it is. You see this with a lot of dead drops, a lot of things like that, basically saying, hey, this is the place. But you look around and you see nothing. Is there anything you'd like to do, say, anything at all? You could make your own perception check if you'd like, investigation.
Yeah, we'll do perception.
Okay. So make me that perception check.
$23.
23. With a 23, you look around. And in this, it's sort of the buildings that you can kind of see. These are the backs of buildings, just flat. But there are small sort of alcoves carved into some of them with pillars. And you do see someone kind of duck behind a pillar real quick. You see the edge of a crossbow. As it kind of is just peeking out a little bit. They're not quite as far behind it as they should be. And then you see another. Only 2. But there are at least 2 there. And they're on opposite sides from you. One on your, we'll say, left, one on your right. Behind pillars. One a crossbow, one looks like the tip of a sword.
Isaac's just going to say, I've come to bargain, and take a seat on the bench.
Okay. Make me a quick persuasion check. Or, I mean, we're going to say persuasion, just more so like convince them that you're not gonna like kill them or something.
16.
Okay. And so they are going to, one of them will. I will say the one that was more, had looked like they had the sword, is going to step out. And it is a tallish man, orcish, looks like to be a half-orc, dressed in sort of patchwork leathers. And he's going to step out. He's only got one tusk, it looks like, kind of sticking up the one side. The other one you don't see. And he kind of starts to walk over, weapon away, just kind of hanging from his hip. Come to bargain, huh? With what? And he's going to take a seat across from you.
I would like to pull out one of the stacks of papers.
Which one? The tavern, the circus in this town, or the sort of trading company?
The tavern.
The tavern. So you pull out the tavern, and you kind of hold it up, and he looks at it. What's that?
It's a deed.
A deed.
A deed.
Indeed, it's a deed. I'm hilarious. I'm sorry. Just gonna look at it. All right. And what are you wanting for this deed?
300 gold.
That's a pretty penny. Must be
Indeed.
something pretty special there. So what exactly is this deed for? Give me your spiel. Why is it worth 300 gold?
All right. So, question for the DM.
Yeah.
Josh. Is this stack of papers, it had like monthly income, right?
It
Like
had
how much the tavern was making?
Yeah, it had like 3 months worth of income on this one, as well as like some of what they sell.
Okay.
And so, do you show him that information?
I do.
Okay.
Yes, because this
So-
is part of my feel.
Okay.
So based on these numbers, I could be making probably more than that in a year.
In a year,
More than the 300 gold I'm asking for you. Is this accurate, Josh, or am I just like lying my ass off?
I'm gonna say it's actually in a year. If we're putting it in terms of that, probably yeah. You could probably make more than 300 in a year. Because in a month, and in this calendar there are 12 months like ours. In a month it's probably somewhere in the range of 25 to 50 is usually the range that you're seeing. Actually, let me hold on. That may be wildly inaccurate. Give me a second. Actually, no, that is a good estimate. It could be 25 to 50. So it could be 300 if it was 25 every month. But if it was more than that, any amount more, you're going to make more money with the tavern.
Okay. So, yeah.
He's going to kind of sigh, look at it. Where'd you get it? Is it dirty?
I don't think it's dirty.
Mainly what I'm asking is, are people going to be coming looking for this? People that we, as an organization, might not want on our hands. You were able to find us, therefore you have some experience with the guild, with our signs, things like that. You've at least seen them a couple times. Other people might be able to as well. So the question is, are they going to come looking?
No.
Can I ask you to make... I'm going to say that's probably deception, because you would know that Deadlock's looking for it. And the guild, having lost it, probably will as well. So I'm going to say a deception check on that. And I feel like you would know that.
30-20.
30-20. He's going to kind of just slowly nod. Alright, 300 gold. It's going to take a minute to get that together. How long are you in town?
Few weeks.
Alright, I can probably get it to you in the next couple days. Meet here 2 days from now. We'll have someone here most of the day. So just come down here. When you get to the bench, just say you've come to bargain again, and I'll let someone know.
Alright, I've got one more that I want to sell for half the price.
Half the price, so 150.
Yep.
Which one's that?
It's the mail.
Sort of like the
The-
merchant service, I guess. I can't
Yeah,
think of what to
that
call it. Okay. Half the price. 150, so that's 450 total. Could I work it down to 400?
Nope.
Can't blame me for trying. This one the same as the other one. Where it's not going to be someone coming looking for this right away.
This one's gonna have someone come looking for it. That's why I'm asking for half the price.
All right, fine. Got yourself a deal. Hold on to him. We'll take him when payment's delivered. Sound like a deal.
Okay. It's a deal.
Okay. Unless you want me to hold on to those for safekeeping. Suppose we can.
No thanks.
But I thought I'd try. All right. What's your name?
Oh boy. I don't know if I want to give him my real name.
It's up to you.
Jacob.
Jacob. All right, Jacob. Well, I'll be seeing you in a couple days then.
All right.
All right. Well, be safe out there. A lot of people willing to stab you in the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
I know, it's crazy.
Isaac's gonna get up and walk off
Okay.
towards the.
Okay. Make me a quick perception check. I think that's only fair.
22.
Okay. You do see there are, other than the two that you saw, there are about 3 more. One of them is peeking out of a small hatch that's on one of the backs of the buildings. One of them's kind of peeking over one of the rooftops. Another crossbow. And then one of them is kind of just... Honestly, kind of surprised you didn't see them initially. It's off in one of the corners. Behind one of the other pillars. On the one wall, it seemed like there were 2 of them, rather than just the one. But initially, didn't see them. And they kind of start coming out of hiding as you start to leave. This one a bit finer dressed. And so, you start to make your way out. We're going to go over to the group in the tavern now. And so as you group go into the tavern, it is, again, not as busy. So this again would be Alaya, Lucia, Bogdan. It's not as busy in here as the other ones seem to be. It is fairly well lit, fairly nice in here. Seems like a lot more, again, just middle class folk here. Drinks are being had. It's, I forget, did I say? I believe it's going to be about noon now. By the time you guys got docked, got out here, found the place, I'm going to say it's about noon. And so you are in there. What do you want to do? The person behind the counter seems to be the bartender. Also has like keys to rooms behind them. So if that's what you're interested, that seems to be the person to talk to.
How long are we here for again?
Oh, say that again.
How long are we here for again?
In town, you've been here probably 20 minutes, 30 minutes maybe. Kind of just walking around to find the tavern, the getting docked. You've been here probably 20, 30 minutes.
How long are we going to stay? Roughly.
Oh.
The captain say we're leaving in like a few weeks.
He said that he's leaving in a couple weeks. Whether you come with him or not is entirely up to you as a group.
Well, I will go up to the bar staff, or at least the person with the keys behind them, and ask to rent a couple of rooms, or ask if there are a couple of rooms available for rent for the next week.
Well, if you're looking for a couple rooms for the next week, I suppose we can stretch something like that. How many are you looking for is a big question. Do I see how many you need?
4 will do fine.
You said 4. All right. Well, for 4 rooms, and you said for a couple weeks,
But just the week.
just the week. All right, for the week, 7 days for you, or 4 rooms. It's gonna run you about 28 silver. So you could do 2 gold, 8 silver if you really wanted to. Just some split, adding up to 28 silver.
It's doable.
All right.
And she'll look to the others to see if they want to contribute. If not, she is happy to buy entirely with her money.
They should put a gold down.
Put gold down. Okay. 18 silver left.
Kind of hesitantly look. I'm gonna be that guy.
You just kind of, what are you looking at me for?
I look at him, I look down, I look back, I look down again, I look one more time back up, and then I look down. Then I look back up.
Oh, I'll pay the rest of it then.
Okay. And so mark that off your money. So again, yep.
How much is that? 18 silver.
18 silver, so that, if you're doing it gold wise, and they would have given you change if you needed it. That's that, yeah. You have your fancy math thing that'll do it for you. There you go.
Every bot.
Yeah, every bot. And so there you go.
Or official not sponsor.
Yeah.
I've not done it this session. It's
No, you haven't. I'm
strange.
very surprised. I was waiting for it. But we did it. You did it. And so there you go. And so the rooms are paid for. You're handed the 4 keys. Split those rooms as you want. And you have those now. They're upstairs. They kind of point over to the staircase off to the right. Over there, just head up the stairs. Whole second floor is a bunch of rooms. There's some on, and there's like a smaller third floor as well. A couple up there too. Although those are slightly nicer rooms, I guess I could have offered those, but they're truthfully not much better. They're just a slightly bigger bed, slightly bigger wardrobe, more meant for more than one person. But yeah, we got food, we got drink. I'm the man who you'd come to talk to all that about. Anything I can get you now, food or drink wise?
I'll be fine, thanks.
All right. Other two, you. Anything for you?
I'm good, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
All right. Well, if you're the drinking type, but you don't want anything right now, we do have a slight celebration tonight. Festival's coming into town near the mid of next week, and so we do kind of a week of celebration beforehand. We got a little bit of a drinking contest tonight. So if it's something you're interested in, come stop by. If you win, you get drinks for the rest of the time right up until the festival. But it's only if you're interested. And then he's gonna go back to serving customers.
Lyra will look around for Edna at the mention of a drinking contest. Guessing that Edna is the type to be interested in a drinking contest.
Edna at the current moment would be away, but don't forget, because you can always mention it to Edna when Edna's back. Now, Aaron, if at any point Edna would be on the way back, let me know.
If a drinking contest starts without Edna, she will be walking in the door at that moment.
Okay. Okay, so when it starts without Edna, Edna's there.
She has perfect timing like that.
You know what? Okay. Okay. Good to know. And so, there you go. You don't see Edna right now. Right now, but the air, a whisper on the wind tells you, I will be there.
I will be there, and I will drink you under the table.
There you go.
And you will die. Liver poisoning.
Oh. And so, there you go. So yes, you... Train of thought. Left. There we go. Okay. And so there you go. You have your rooms. What do you want to do?
Am I able to make a perception check around the area to see if I see anything might stand out to me just a little bit? No, nothing weird. I just mean like maybe a conversation I pick up or someone looking a little
Okay.
in a shady figure. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. Go ahead and roll perception.
16.
16. Okay. Plenty of shady folk around here. However, you've seen shady people before. You've been around some shady people, the gang being one of them, others as well. And there's one person that catches your eye. A man in the corner, kind of sitting, leaning back on his chair, and just having a slight conversation with someone. And they're talking about, you hear them mention the fireball in the sky and how they're probably going to go send some people to check it out, see if there's any scrap, any salvage. They're talking about it possibly have been an airship that went down. There's probably a ton of scrap that they can get out of that. But the way that they talks like they have some possible larger organization as well, and you don't recognize either of these guys from Deadlock's gang. The ones that came anyway. So,
on the flip side, did I notice anyone that looks, maybe the opposite, maybe really heroic or willing to help?
I'm going to say here, in this specific place, I'm going to say there's really only one person that gives you that kind of vibe. But as soon as you kind of are looking around and kind of meet their eye kind of meets yours as they turn their body to kind of look in your direction a little bit, possibly doing the same thing as you see they have a badge on their kind of chest. They are a man, got kind of a goatee, close cut, black hair, slick back, and not wearing armor, but wearing more of just a sort of suit. And he's got the badge.
Can I roll a history? See maybe if I've seen it around the town, maybe the Adventurers Guild, maybe something like that.
Of the badge?
Yes.
Yeah, go ahead and roll history.
Maybe I've seen it. Maybe 18 plus. Okay, so 26.
Yes. So you've seen this a couple times. It is not the guard, not this sort of army of red and gold that you've heard about, but it is the same symbol, but snapped in half and with a sort of sword pin put through it. It's something that people who used to be in the guard but now are more mercenaries tend to do. It's sort of taking their old symbol of status and morphing it into something new. They are often very brutal, usually veterans of war, and they always wear it on their chest. Seeing that, looking at him initially, you'd be like, oh, he's probably not, he's just some guy. But you see that and you do immediately kind of have the idea of like, okay, this is probably the more heroic type, because they always are. They're always the type to jump in front of a bullet to save someone else. That's just in their nature.
Interesting.
So yeah. And then get back up and keep fighting. They'll do that, then get back up. So yeah, like that's that kind of person. Anything else you're looking for?
I'm debating if I want to. I guess I'll kind of walk past him, not quite like towards him, but a little bit past him where he'd easily be able to hear me. He'd know I'm talking to him, but I'm not going to waste my time speaking to him. So, as I'm walking past, hope to see you at the drink tonight.
There's no
Keep
response.
in mind, I'm a very skinny guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No response, but a kind of a. And you hear a click as well. Almost as soon as you start to walk close, there's a click. Nothing happens, but it's the sound of a hammer being pulled back on a gun. And then you hear it kind of as you go past and you actually make your way past. Goes back. You can kind of hear the release. Not like the fire, the shot, but the, soft release. These kind of guys are very on
That's all I
their
wanted to
guard.
do.
Okay. And so, there you go. Lucia, what about you? Anything in particular you want to do? Look for in the town or here?
After paying for rooms with Elia, he just kind of looks at her. Do you want to discuss what we were going to, or would we rather wait? I'll leave that up to you. I don't exactly have plans or anything.
And almost like a grandmother, after getting to a holiday destination, I will sort of look to Lucia and Vokden, sort of gather some things and go, oh no, it's all right. I'll be up in the rooms. I'll get everything settled down and set up. Come and meet me later. And then she sort of like goes up to the rooms to everything sort of prepped for staying there for the week.
He's just gonna follow her up.
She will not sort of resist or say otherwise.
I think I'm just gonna head outside the towner or the tavern. Just look around. Probably not go anywhere. Probably not go inside anywhere. Just kind of gauge the scenery for a little bit.
Okay, good to know. And then, yeah, so I'll get to that, and then the other two, after these two have their conversation.
I do have a question.
Yeah.
Would Lucia logically know that Elia has some sort of religious connection?
Alaya, I don't recall, do you have any kind of religious iconography, like, present on your person, like a symbol or anything that's visible?
She does carry an amulet. Sorry, 2 seconds. She does carry an amulet to Essus.
Okay.
Essus.
Essus,
However you
yeah.
pronounce it.
Yeah, and it's visible, right? It's like something that's...
Like a grandmother would wear a sort of golden crucifix necklace.
There you go. So then, there you go. You would know that you would see that. And so you could assume, yeah.
So you wanted to know some things about my past, but I think it's only fair that we make a trade.
That's fair, yeah.
You are a religious person?
I was raised in a community of religious monks, yes. We
Should
all
I
follow
deafen myself so I don't
Essus.
hear this? Because I feel like this might be a plot point.
I
No.
mean, no, don't worry about it. Just
Don't worry about it. Okay, cool.
Just don't meta. Just be like, hey, my
Okay,
character
cool,
doesn't
cool.
know this.
Just wondering.
Then maybe you could help me with something that I'm trying to accomplish.
Go ahead.
I'm new to the religious scene, and I'm trying to possibly get...
Connor froze. Connor back.
Motherfucker!
You were trying to get, and then it...
I've been trying to get some attention from someone.
In particular.
Would he logically know the name?
Make a religion check.
Maybe.
I'm also going to roll a religion check for when they do say the name, if they do.
Good idea.
What is that? Well, that's a bigger amount than I thought it was. $19.
I would say you would. You'd know, I'll even give it for both of their names. If you want to extend it to both.
I've mostly been trying to contact the goddess of knowledge, Serena. Although there's someone else that's of interest. Erden. Progress.
Slightly incorrect. Just
What is his name?
Eldon. Just want to make sure.
Eldon. Fuck. Thank you. That was close.
No, you're good.
And it's. I only recently started to think of something like this because of the captain. He introduced me to the idea.
Alright.
Fucking God.
Can I roll another religion check? Just because there were two names.
What did you roll on the first one?
The first one I got a 14.
14. I'm gonna say yeah. Go ahead for the second one. Just because it wasn't quite as high as Lucia's. So.
At 1, so that's a 3.
3. The second name, and I do not think this is unreasonable, because, well, you wouldn't know that, so I'm not going to tell you. The second one you've never heard of, Eldon Progress, never heard of before.
With the mention of God of knowledge, or deity of knowledge, her face will sort of kind of lighten up a little bit, being that knowledge and wisdom kind of go hand in hand. Then she'll sort of cock her head to the side of it when second is mentioned, and she'll ask for a little bit more information on the second one.
I would give you more, but I don't know much, to be honest. Again, I've only recently been introduced to even the idea of trying to contact them.
Then I guess we have a job of visiting a church or a library at some point. In
That's
terms of the first deity you wish to contact, they seem similar from what I can recall to the deity that I follow, Asus, the deity of wisdom. And if they are anything like Asus, then what I can say is meditation definitely does help when trying to contact. A combination and mixture of meditation and prayer sometimes in their attention.
These are things that I haven't done before, to be honest.
Then she'll like sort of kind of giddily out a side satchel and then like pick out some incense sticks and things and like set them down around the room and light them up with some matchsticks and then sit down in a meditation position, sort of hold her hand out as to say, join me and sit down on the floor, peasant.
He will. Are you sure you want to do this now? You had questions, and I don't mind answering them first.
It's fine, it's fine. So have you never meditated?
I don't think that the things that I have done could count as that.
Well, it's rather simple. You don't have to worry at all. And then she's gonna go full like Zen master, like I'm a vegan bullshit. Like this is how you do this, and you've got to do that. And it's like you've got to let your orifices escape, and you've got to feel the energy and all this for about an hour, unless told to stop.
Does Lucia ever say to stop?
The temptation for him to be a dick is great, but this is not that. No. He's not. He would be the person to just let. Okay.
Vocton does
Welcome
not like
back.
crazy lady. Oh.
Lucia's definitely the type to just kind of sit there, nod, and let them talk through it, and not say a single word, despite being uncomfortable and a little bored.
Okay.
So, for an hour, Lucia will put up with crazy religious lady.
Well,
I
there you
Yet.
do meditation exercises.
Well, Lucia, you're learning how to meditate. There you go.
I didn't catch that. You have gone mute, and I believe
Ah.
it is something to do with me again.
Ah.
I hate my fucking thing. 2 seconds.
Ah. Ah. Haha.
It works.
Yeah. What did I say? Oh, I just said Lucia. You know how to meditate now. There you go.
Ooh.
And so for an hour, you sit
Worship
there
is
and listen to that.
proficient in meditation.
Yeah. I mean, hey, there you go. You know what? So let me ask you something about this meditation here and how you're doing this. Is this just like your early learning how to meditate, or do you at any point try to do anything with contacting anyone? This goes for any of you. Would Elia try to show Lucia how, or Lucia, would you attempt to do so on your own?
Whether she showed him or not, he would still attempt.
And does Elia
I
show?
purely focus on the whole. This is how you meditate. Pay very close attention. I will not repeat it again. And then continue to repeat it over and over and over again.
Okay. Well, you know what, Lucia? Go ahead and make me, if you're going to attempt to do so, make me, I'll say, a religion check. I'm not going to say advantage or anything, but it will be a slightly lower DC due to the fact that you are learning how to properly meditate. Is that a nat 1 or a nat 20? It's one of the two. If it's a 20, I just tell me, please.
And this is a
You,
what check?
Isaac singing.
Religion.
That would be a 28 with a nat 20.
Mother of God. And so, again, as you kind of said, slightly bored. And you just kind of like, I've learned a couple things. I'm a fast learner. I'm going to try this. And so you just go full Zen mode for a split second. And Elia, you would kind of notice the change in the facial expression as well. Do you think, like, how would you feel noticing this, like, change in expression in this, like,
She will fully, like, wet herself with excitement.
Okay.
Like, she will be so over the top with it.
I will say this is probably near the end of that hour. That hour does pass. It's like the last thing. And so, excuse me, that happens. And Lucia, you start to trance and you float for a moment, feeling lighter than air. You felt like this before, but it's usually drug induced. This time it is not.
Alternative? No.
What do you say, if anything, when you are? Like, if you're calling out, what do you think? What exactly is going through your head that is calling out?
I have a proposition for you, and I would like to see if we could make a deal.
And so, feel floating. You feel a hand on your shoulder that seems to bring you back down to earth. And again, this is all still in your head, but bring you back down to earth. And you look. There's a woman standing there. Long white hair, with a couple streaks of black. And it seems all along her skin are words, written in various different languages that seem to shift and contort and change with every second. Bright blue eyes, very fair skin. You called.
It worked.
I suppose it did, Lucia.
I know things that I want to share. I want to help people, but to do so I think I need help. And I thought that you could do that.
I suppose. I mean, Well, the chapter in your book did say something. Yes, I mean, I suppose I could help with that. What exactly do you need? And what knowledge are you offering me?
I created these things, and I can do more than this. But in return for help with furthering my own knowledge on certain things, I could give you the knowledge that I have and other things that I can do.
Well, the problem is I'm more the bookkeeper. This isn't really my domain. That would be Elden progress. I believe you're familiar, slightly. That is more his domain.
Little.
I do not believe you'd be familiar with Elden the god, but you may have been familiar with Elden the man. Are you familiar with Rune Sadir at all? And you would be, because that was the basis of your thing.
I know some, yes.
Ah, well, he was one of the creators, so you would be familiar with Elden the man's work. Elden the god is another thing. How about this? As a group, we can talk. Come to a proposition at a later date. Because for right now, I think you have to be getting back. And she's going to pull out a book. Says right here that in the next... She kind of squints. About an hour. Someone's going to be coming looking for your group. So I do believe now is not the time.
Then, when should I?
You'll know. Don't worry, we'll come to you. I believe talks have already been had with others. Unimportant, I say too much. She's going to kind of cock her head to the side. What was that? No. Okay. Alright, you must be going, Lucia. She's going to kind of put the book like she's putting it up on a shelf, just in the air, and it vanishes. Alright.
Soon then.
Yes. And then it drops. And you are sitting there. And Elia looks very giddy. And Elia, that, after the meditation started, it was maybe a minute. And then Lucia was back. Lucia, it was maybe a couple minutes.
Lucia's gonna look at Elia. If you think this is interesting, you should try some of the things that I've done. They're quite fun. Feel about the same, really.
And she'll like really quickly stand up, and then she'll sort of wave at Lucia and sort of, yeah, that's all brilliant. Now moving on, and then she'll like begin doing martial arts shit. Not caring if Lucia is following along or not, but just happily in her own world.
Mm-hmm.
You know, being a monk.
He stays sitting and just kind of. I'm trying to think of how to explain the look on his face, because he's expressive. He doesn't hide his feelings. Dude's a fucking open book if you ask the right questions. He has this almost watching you, almost solemn look. And he's just moving the augmented hand the whole time as he watches you. That's all I got right now.
Okay. And I do want to go over to Vokton for a moment, and then we're going to go to Isaac. Vokton, you said you were going outside and you were looking around. Anything in particular, or just looking around?
Just realized I was muted. Nothing in particular. Kind of just roaming the streets, looking, trying to gauge my territory in a sense.
Okay. Give me a quick perception check. See what all you notice exactly.
That is a 19.
19. Okay. And so as you're looking around this street, I guess you could say it's a dirty, cobbled street even. There is a man, woman, 2 daughters walking down the street. 8 and 10 years of age. Connor gets the reference because this was the intro for the campaign. Not exactly, but just this part. Looking over their shoulders very anxiously. Lots of people walking around them. Then they turn their head and look forward, and standing there is a man in gold and red armor, with the insignia of the guard. Not the one like you saw earlier with the sword through, but the guard. Grabs the man by the scruff of the neck. Drags him close. And you can faintly hear on the wind, it's a bit of a ways off, but you can hear talks basically of, oh, you thought you could get away, but we know what you've done, speaking against our king. And they're going to throw him to the ground. And the wife just grabs the daughters as they start to scream and like drags them back, like, no, stay away. And as this man is on the ground, the guard is going to pull out a baton and begin to just beat this man while he's on the ground. And the man attempts to get up. He even grabs like a sharp rock, and he swings and hits the guard on the side of the head. Blood starts to trickle down. Kind of looks at it. And you can see the smile, almost as wide as some of the ones that you've done, come across his face. Puts the baton away. Pulls out a gun. And executes the man in the middle of the street. The gunshot ringing out across the street. Kicks his dead body. Walks off. And the wife, the daughters, they just begin crying next to his body. This is the kind of place this world is. You've seen it a little bit. But some places are better than others. This just isn't one of them. So there's that. There is a guard presence here. Besides that one guard, you do see quite a few as you stand there, walking this way and that. Different armors, different ranks, but all the red and gold. All that same insignia. Similar weaponry as well. They all seem to have at least some sort of firearm, baton, and usually possibly like a short sword, dagger, some type of bladed weapon as well. Various ages, races, genders, everything. There's that. You do see, as you kind of stand there, all in the span of a few seconds even. Guy gets shot by the guard, guard walks away, woman gets robbed over here, guard doesn't pay any mind. Just keeps walking. But woman screaming, help, he just robbed me. Nothing. Nobody cares. There's various shops. All seem to be very decently bustling. But it seems like most people are armed. To some degree. Even if it's the smallest, dullest dagger. Most people are armed. Even some small children you see running this way and that. Again, it's a mostly orcish population. Some furbolgs, things like that as well. Goblins, but mostly orcs. So there you go.
So this might be a little too far in the bad direction, but I'm gonna do something.
Oh boy, go ahead.
So I'm gonna start making my way towards that dead body.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna bend down, look at him, look at his eyes. I'm gonna shut his eyelids, take him by the shoulders. I'm gonna look at the guard. Hey.
He's gonna stop. Just stops in his tracks. Looks over. Oi, what you want?
I start smiling. You shouldn't leave trash in the streets. And I throw him to the side.
And he just kind of starts laughing at that. All right. Look, you. Have a nice day. And he just kind
I
of
just nod, smiling, and walk away.
Okay. All right. The wife and children, who were kind of starting to walk away, see this happen and just, Like they start fucking bawling their eyes out even more. Yeah. Okay. Nice. And then Isaac, so you had left there. Where would you have gone after? Would you have started heading back to the tavern? Because you would have seen them go in there, by the way. You stayed long enough. Where do you want to go next?
Yeah, Isaac was gonna meet up with the rest of the group.
Okay. I think with everything that's happened, the time it took you to get there, you'd probably get there shortly after Vakhtyn does that. It'd probably be maybe 10 minutes after, just with walk time and all that. Um, and so you're able to get back there, and that works out. I'm gonna say probably about. Connor just left. God damn it! I was just about to bring everything together. Fuck. Okay.
They said BRB in chat.
Say again.
They said BRB in chat, so
Oh,
they should
see.
be right back, hopefully.
I would fucking hope
Should
so.
be.
Ocean, you muttering under your breath again.
No. Okay. Me. Oh, okay. Yeah, but no, yeah, no. The whole thing though with the man, the wife and children, like bringing them up. I was gonna bring them up at some point. I just didn't really have an idea of when, because in the intro to the campaign I wrote that was like one of the examples I used is, oh, they're afraid of the guard. I just never said why until now.
Ooh, full circle.
What happened? Because
Okay.
I went to go grab a drink and came back to someone getting shot in the street.
So it's been a few weeks, but in the beginning intro of the campaign that I read, like there's a man and his wife and two daughters, 8 and 10 years of age, walking on the dirty cobbled streets. Well, brought that guy back, and a guard. They ran into a guard, and he's basically like, you spoke against our king, blah blah blah. Threw him to the ground, started beating him. The man took a rock, smashed the side of his head, blood trickling down. So he just smiled and shot him in the head.
Well, it's funny because it seems like I just did that for no reason, just to be evil, which is partly true. But I have a very weird set of values.
Mm-hmm.
And it perfectly marked off to the point where I was very happy with the guard.
Yeah. Welcome back, Connor. Perfect. God damn it, you left it exactly when I was going to go do a thing. I'm kidding. I don't
Yeah,
care.
sorry, I had to go do a thing. Also, I tripped off the bed again.
Really? Careful.
I fell on the dog.
Oh my god.
She's not mad. She doesn't care.
Fair enough. Okay. So, you're all actually at the tavern about that time. Isaac getting back. I'll wait. I'm gonna give him a minute. Yeah. Hold on. Hello. Hi. And about this time, Edna, with your fantastic timing, the drinking contests are starting to get ready to go. They're starting to get in the stage of like, okay, we're going to start in the next hour. We're placing bets. We're doing stuff like that. And Edna, you heard on the wind. One of the little rats told you. One of the little rats told you in the woods and in the desert. It was like, hey, there's a drinking contest at that place. And so all of you, we'll just for the sake of things, down in the bottom of the place at this point, see Edna bust through the doors. Edna,
She's kicking this door down.
Kicking the door down.
Potentially in, if possible.
Roll to hit, please. See how hard you hit this door.
Can I add my proficiency bonus to this kick?
Fuck it, sure.
24.
Fuck. Okay. Yeah,
It's
okay.
a fucking door, so.
You kick the fucking door. The door slams against the wall. It stays on its hinges. I'm just
Damn
gonna say I know it's gonna stay on the hinges because you don't have anything to add extra damage to your thing except your plus for strength. I don't think. So I'm gonna say it just flies open, and so flies open, and hits the wall real hard, and everyone turns and looks and sees Edna standing in the door. Edna, what do you do?
Drinking without me. Bastards, you're buying my drink tonight now. You do
Bar-
not get room to argue.
Bartender's just gonna look from all across the room at you. You're here to drink.
I'm here to do something.
Well, drinks are free for a week if you win the contest tonight.
Watch me.
Well, then come buy in. There's a fee.
And I'll buy in. What's the fee?
It's gonna be a 5 gold entry fee. Goes into the pot. You win, you get free drinks for a week in the whole pot.
Oh, and there's an.
Yeah, other people can just throw money in the pot too, even if they're not competing. But those of you who all wants to compete, that's the first question. We got Vokton wanting to compete. Okay.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay. Anyone else?
Maya does not drink,
Does not
otherwise
drink.
she would.
Okay, Lucia, what about you?
No.
Don't want to get crossfaded? Makes sense. And Isaac.
Oh, it's
Isaac's
fun.
gonna stay out of it.
Isaac's sitting out. Does anyone want to bet, though? Throw any money in the pot? Possibly win part of the pot? That's not competing? Okay.
Yes.
Yes, how much?
We'll put $50 on Edna. Or $50. 50 gold.
What the fuck are dollars? No, I'm kidding. 50 gold, you said?
50 rubles, yeah.
Okay. So, there we go. Edna, we got there. And so,
Deal, yeah.
Edna and Vokton, are you putting any more than the 5 buy-in, or are you just going the 5?
I'm just gonna go for 5 for now.
Going for 5, Edna?
And I'll just go 5 for now.
Just go 5. Okay. Ooh. Isaac with a whopping 50 smackaroons.
Right.
Okay. Ballsy. Okay. So there you go. That is your buy-in. Again, it starts in about an hour. You can do anything you'd like to prep. You could technically cheat.
Oh,
However,
okay.
I would not encourage it.
Oh.
Well, I mean, you could, but don't get
I
caught.
probably will. What are the? I'm gonna talk to the no, but I'm gonna talk to the bartender. So what? Sorry. So what are the prerequisites to losing this contest?
Well, it's the first one to vomit. Lose their lunch. That's the first. That's loser. You stay standing. You're fine. You'll match off against one other person. It'll be you and a competitor, and then we'll go through the competition. So you can either go solo or with the team.
Passing out. I assume that makes you.
That as well. Passing out, losing your lunch, not being able to drink another. It's not about how fast you finish it. It's just about if you can finish it.
So, definitely, I'm not gonna cheat. I'm just gonna manipulate.
Okay. All right.
Because I know a couple that come to mind right now. How long are between each rounds? It's immediate, I presume.
It's immediate right after. You drink one. Again, doesn't matter the speed at which you do it, but you take it. It's sort of in rounds. Once you both finished it.
I'm only gonna say this because I'm not gonna do it, but I may or may not was gonna catch Edna on fire. But I'm not gonna.
What?
So
You
you're
cannot
welcome.
catch Edna on fire. Edna is God.
Edna's drinking alcohol, and I can control flames.
Oh fuck.
Too bad.
I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna argue with Edna. I don't win with Edna. Fireball would be fun. I mean, what? No. I'm not gonna. Oh, I'm preparing. I have a couple spells that could help. Not even cheat, just in general.
Mm-hmm.
So, give me a sec to prepare for this time.
Okay. He is
definitely...
gonna kind of say this, okay? He's gonna basically be like, there are a couple rules. This has to be a fair competition. No magic of any sort. Of course you can do it, just don't get caught. But, no magic of any kind is allowed by the rules. Fair game. And, again, just, if you can go on to the next drink, you're fine. And so there you go.
I'm looking. I don't think I have it.
Hmm.
I'll tell you in a second if I can find it. Mold Earth. No.
In the meantime, Lucia's gonna order himself an alive food.
Well, there you go. That's gonna run you. Are you getting like a full meal for each of you?
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that's probably gonna run you 2 silver.
He's doing that before all the festivities begin so that they can actually get food.
Of course. There you go. So, yeah, you order some food. I'm gonna say for Alaya, they bring out some like quinoa, rice, and spinach, and yeah, I don't know. I'm just again thinking of like greens and grains. And then for Lucia, it's gonna be, don't know. Honestly, that was a lot easier than regular food.
Random. Just random. The one
Random
thing
food.
that you know he likes
Stew.
is not what he ordered.
Oh. Okay. That was the random thing I came up with. There you go.
It's not what he got, so.
Okay, there you go. So then there you go. So you get food. You get food. It's a tin labeled food. That is what you get.
Military meals.
Military meals. It's literally just an MRE.
So I'm not gonna do this because it doesn't work the way I was hoping it did. But
Hmm.
wouldn't it be funny if I used Ray of Sickness?
Jesus Christ.
I mean, no, but just think of the name of it.
Yeah, like cast a ray and they're just vomit all.
No, exactly. I was like, there's no way. Surely there's no way.
Honestly, that is just, there needs to be a spell for that. And
There's part of me wants to cast Druidcraft because I can get a 5-foot cube and create the faint odor of just push people slightly over the edge.
You could. That is not a bad idea. You just again need to not get caught casting. Because what are the components?
I don't fucking know. It's a cantrip.
Okay. I gotta see if it's like verbal, somatic.
I'm double checking.
Yeah.
It's
I
verbal.
was to
There's a
punch
V and an
someone in
S.
the stomach.
Say it again, Eli.
If I was to punch someone in the stomach, to try and make them throw up, would that work?
Probably, but I'm pretty sure the person would get immediately disqualified for someone helping them. That would be yeah, it would work.
So fast,
Oh,
and then zipped.
I'd need a real high stealth check. I'd allow it.
I
But
got
need
you. I got you.
No.
Isaac's just in the corner, just like flings
Whack him with the
rock or
quarterstaff.
something.
Oh, I'm ready. I'm all ready.
Are you? Okay.
Yeah,
So-
I'm not gonna take any more time. I think I got it.
Okay. So then when it comes time, let me know and I'll see what it is. I want to be surprised by whatever it is.
Okay.
So time goes by. The two of you that got food get your food. And it starts. And so people start gathering around in a circle. These two tables are pushed right up next to each other and into one longer table. A chair is put at each end. Drinks are set down in a row. And then someone's standing there, and it seems like you drink one, next one's pushed in front of you as soon as the two of you are done. And so, everything's set. Which of the two you competing want to go first?
Me.
Eric, you okay? You said it first. And so, Edna, a couple people go in front, a couple people go and compete, and then when it comes up to your turn, are you saying we've got, what's your name?
Edna.
Edna, to crowd cheers, yeah, Edna, Edna, Edna. And so you sit in your chair. Okay. And across from you is a bear of a man. This very large, very hairy, just looks mostly like a human man, as far as you can tell. Wearing like various patchwork furs and stuff covering him up. And he holds the drink, holds it up, kind of like a cheers from across the table. Do you reflect the sentiment or no?
And no, reflect the sentiment.
Okay, reflect the sentiment. And then he's waiting for it to say go. The bartender kind of hops up on the table. All right, fair game. No cheating, no nothing like that. Just drink the drink. After you finish, both of you finish, we'll go on to the next one, all right? Ready? 3, 2, 1, drink. And I need you to just roll me a flat d20. That's how we're doing this. Flat d20.
I don't get that in my constitution.
I'm going to say no, not for this. It's just going to be a flat roll for both of you.
Do you want this in dice rolls or
No, just say what you got.
15.
8. And so you chug yours down, and it's thick. It's real thick, but you've had worse. And so you chug it down, slam it down. He's still going. And it takes him a minute longer as well. Gags on it a little bit. Kind of sets it down. Just kind of. And so bartender gives you a nod. Someone runs up and slides the next one in front of you, takes the old one off. 3, 2, 1, roll. It's an 18.
8.
Okay, and so kind of finishes, downs it real fast, and you're watching out the corner of your eye. Down. And it's like he's taken half the drink in one gulp almost. Slams it down on the table, shakes the whole thing. And you're gagging a little bit. This one's getting to you. That's one failure for both of you. Go on to the next one. First.
20, bitch.
7. And so you watched him and you're like, maybe hold on. And you just guzzle that, excuse me, so fucking fast. It's gone in seconds. And he's done he's done like about the same time as you, but he's just already starting to kind of bile in his mouth. It's not good. He almost has to like re-drink some of it. And so on to the next, because that's 2 failures him, 1 failure you, if my math is right. That's a 20.
17.
Yeah. And so he downs it, and he's not looking good. He's already a little woozy, shaking in his chair, but now so are you. This is the round that decides it all.
Great.
Come on, Edna. I've got money on you.
That is a 14.
Well, that's a 4.
Yes.
Well, here's the thing. So he finishes real quick, and he slams it down, looks real confident. Yeah, and you're a little slow, and you're like, oh no, I can feel it. And then he just projectile vomits all over the table. Like it gets in some of the
so I need to
drinks.
roll a check to avoid this.
I'm gonna
Fox
say
missiles.
roll a Constitution save in this case to try to hold it back.
That's oh fucking hell. How do I add this? 19.
It starts to, but then you scare it back down. You scare it back down, and it goes, nope, not dealing with that. Back down, and you are fine. And so he has to be like dragged away by a couple of his buddies, and he's like, that fucking woman.
We're weak.
Finally. Okay, we got it. Sorry.
Welcome back. Yeah, but yes, Edna is victorious. And so,
As always.
I will do the money split and everything with what else was put in the pot after Vakhtins go, and I'll keep in mind that 50 was you put that Isaac specifically on Edna, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So let me just make sure to note that here. Okay, there we go. And then Vaktan. So Vaktan. Couple drinks go by after Edna's very close victory. Couple go by between other people. Some win, some people cheering for people they put money on, and some not so much. There's even one really thin, skinny guy. Looks like he could be snapped like that, and he seems to pull through until the very last drink, and then he just passes out on the table, like halfway through. And so there's that. Now, it's up to you. So, the guy, the announcer, the barkeep, he's up on the table. He's like, all right, and next we have, what's your name? Pointing to you.
I smile. You have to earn that.
All right, we got you. Got to earn that. Get in the seat. You got to.
Excellent. Okay.
And so, so you sit down, and across from you is a dwarvish woman, big long beard, and sits down across from you. Hey, have a nice drink. Fair play to you.
I just gonna nod, give a little half smile. And to you.
And first roll again. This is flat d20s.
I got a 10.
Got a 9, and so that was so close. And so you down yours, and it's a thick, heavy drink, real dark, and not very good. And so you take it back, kind of grunt it off a little bit, and she's looking. It was a little more than she was expecting. She kind of grunts it off a little bit. Another, and then another one's put in front of her. Let's on to the next one.
I feel good. I feel like I'm gonna get a 20 right here. 15.
16. What the fuck is going on
it's
right
close.
now? What is going on? And so she's kind of chugs it back, kind of pushing through still that first one, kind of pushes through this one, and you start to feel it work its way deep in the depths of your stomach. You're like, oh, that one was, that you were confident after that first one. Let's do another.
A 13.
That's a 4.
Oh yes.
Much worse on that one. And so she almost can't finish it in time. She has to go for two kind of swigs. She can't finish it in just the one straight drink. And she's kind of watching you the whole time, but you're able to pull through. Let's go for another one.
All right, final one.
Final
Come
one.
on.
Possibly.
Oh, a 9.
That's a 20.
Oh.
And so
Okay.
this really doesn't have too much of an effect on this one. But yeah, what were you
Okay,
gonna say?
cool. Oh, I was just gonna, mess with something.
Good.
Okay, cool. As long as we're on the same page. So I'm gonna be talking. As I'm taking a swig, I'll be like, has anyone ever told you your voice? It reminds me of a Hold on, what is it? It's a silvery laugh. It's less of that, more of a silvery barbs. I'd like to roll silvery barbs.
Hold on. Silvery barbs, huh? I need to read up on what that does again.
Makes you reroll a d20 and take the lowest.
Fuck, you're right. And you can even give yourself advantage. Huh. Interesting. Okay, well she will have to yeah, because it's just okay. I'll get
So anything below a 9.
below a 9. That is actually gonna be a, why is my brain not being able to read right now? 6.
Oh.
Yeah. And so that was her final one. And so she starts to kind of gag for a moment. And she's drinking it, and she's kind of going for that last swig. And then you just see it down her face as it goes into the cup, and she just she like almost starts to kind of drink it again. Just like, no, trying to like play it off, but she can't play it off, and so she loses as well. She kind of slams it down. God damn it! and just kind of stumbles away. You know that, so where am I? Where are you?
I could have a drink.
Huh. I'm gonna go lay down. And then she just kind of face plants on the floor. And so there you go. So with that, after a few more drinks are done, and the pot is then split, Isaac, you put the 50 down. And so you're going to get in return. Let me do some quick maths here. I actually had an idea for ding. You're going to get a total of 60 back. It's your 50 original that you put in, and an extra 10. Edna. Edna and Vokton, really, you're going to get the same. You both won. You both had the same amount you put in. You're each going to get 30 gold. As winners of the competition, you got a little more extra than paid for. So there you go. You get 30 each. And there you go. And so, with your money. Now, Vokton, I'm going to say you probably have... Actually, hold on. So,
I
Edna,
deliberately did that so I took less drinks than he did.
you did. So I'm going to say, Vokton, you have 1 level of drunkenness, which is equal to 1 level of exhaustion. So it's disadvantage on ability checks. I believe is that all it is. And then, Edna, you're going to have 2. Because you did have more drinks. So, from that, there you go. And so, you have that. Now, you are all going to hear something outside. This is all of you. Including, Edna, Vokton, all of you. There's cheers and cheers and cheers. Yeah, Edna, Vokton, whoa. And then cheer in some of the names of some of the other people who won. And then you hear a blood-curdling scream from outside. Does anyone go to investigate?
I think that's like the siren sound for me. I'm gonna go check it out.
Okay.
Dishing what he hasn't
Bolt
touched.
the door.
I think in her drunken state, Edna will try, but I'm not sure she'll make it.
Well, I have a staff, so I'm like wobbling.
Hobbling.
Edna does not have anything. She's
No.
just got herself.
I will say there's enough people you can probably make your way to the door using them as a crutch.
Oh, yeah.
Just kind of, come here, out of my way.
She's tall enough, she can probably use their heads.
Yeah. And then the rest of you, where are you going as well?
Ditching what he hasn't touched. Yeah, he's going.
And then Isaac, what about you?
Wow.
Are there any windows? Because he's just going to stay inside and try to stand by one of them.
There's a window. You can try to see if you can see from there. And then Elia.
Out the door. Almost the speed of light.
Fair. You're honestly, despite probably not being the first to leave, with your movement speed, you're probably the first one out. And so you all make your way out. And you see something in the road. It's later at night at this point. That took a little bit, maybe an hour or so. It was an hour wait. It's starting to approach dusk. And in the road, about 60, I'm going to say 75 feet away, is a hunched form over a body. And I'm going to tell you, with any roll, you would not know what this is. You can see it clear as day with the streetlights.
Can I roll to see what it is? No, I'm just kidding.
I will tell you that out of game, you probably know what it is. But
I think I'd get a brain cramp.
one of these has never been on Iodithis. This is the first time, and one has ever touched down. As it lifts its bulbous head off of the head of a person, a man, you see the face of an illithid. Of course, you wouldn't know it by that name in game. But out of game, you'd know it as a mind flayer. One of them has never touched down on Iodithis. Till now. And so, You see it sort of hunched over its man's body. And then give me a moment while I pull something up.
Combat time?
Maybe not.
Okay. I don't want to fight one. I want to fight a mind flayer. So it reminds me of the last time I fought a mind flayer while I was drunk.
Yeah. Okay, hold on. I gotta do it on my phone because my computer, while streaming, is super slow. I know what I want to do, I just don't know the DC for this.
40.
It's 78.
I mean, if you want it to be.
I never said I wanted to be. It's just what it is.
Come on. Give me the mother... I could go get the book. I just don't know what book it's in. There it is. Okay, I found it. Okay, so if you could, make me an intelligence saving throw, all of you.
I get
And
disadvantage, right?
I believe it's just on ability checks, but I'm gonna double
Oh,
check
I think you're right.
exhaustion.
Is it against being charmed?
Say again?
Is it against being charmed?
No. I do not believe any of you would have resist or have any kind of advantage on this from anything.
Is it psychic?
I know what you're thinking. There's part of it that's psychic, and you would have you'd have resistance to that portion, but it is not all
Okay.
psychic. This is actually for a different thing.
Gotcha.
I just need to look up the fucking exhaustion condition to see if you have disadvantage or if Edna does. No, neither
I
of
got
you would.
a 7, 4, 13.
13? You fail.
Ooh.
22.
Okay, Lucia, you are fine.
I got a
Isaac.
17.
You are going to fail as well.
Oh, damn.
So Lucia, I believe, is the only one that succeeds. Oh, and
19.
Edna. 19? You are going to succeed as well. However, your speed is halved. That is something that you are having 2 levels of drunkenness. Keep that in mind. Speed is halved for anything you might want to do. As there is this just astoundingly loud shrieking sound. And this sort of raspy voice, which, Brant, I'm sorry, I'm not going to be able to do it justice. This very specific sound I can think of. It's just this very loud, and then I'll roll the damage in a minute, but, sorry, I'm reading at the same time. Anyway. You cannot stop us. We will come. And it's just in your head. And you're going to take psychic damage. I'm not going to have it. Vokton, I'll have you have it. So that is going to be... Oh, and for those of you that failed, you are stunned.
I apologize. Was it a wisdom saving throw?
Intelligence.
Oh, okay. Then it's the same. Yeah. Just making sure I didn't screw up.
So that is 18 psychic damage.
Okay.
Not halved.
Okay. Oh, wait. So half for me or not halved?
Yours is halved because you're Kalishtar.
Okay.
But that is 18, not halved.
If you succeed,
Why is
it's a
nearly
half
dead
round.
once again?
Who like, I'm pretty sure you might not be the only one, though. I mean, well, because if you, let me just check here. Okay, I apologize. Let me say real quick, because I didn't say this. Don't use this often. If you succeeded, you do not take the damage and you are not stunned. If you failed, you take the damage and are stunned. So in that case, the only 2 people who are not affected by any of that is Lucia and Edna. The rest of you take that damage and are stunned. Stunned, blah, 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 blah. I don't have it in front of me anymore. I believe it's basically you just can't move and you can like speak only sputteringly.
Yeah, and then you fail dex and strength saves, I think, and attacks against you have advantage.
That would be correct. Yes, thank you. And when it does this, it is actually going to then begin to sort of not not, excuse me, run away and not fly away. It's going to kind of hover away. And it's going to make it about, with its movement, 30 feet. Actually, sorry. Yeah, I'm going to say just 30 feet. And it is going to duck into an alley. And out of sight. Do any of you attempt to do anything? There are only really 2 of you that can right now.
I'm drunk and stunned.
Drunk and stunned. There are only 2 of you that can do anything. That's Lucia and Edna.
Edna is too drunk to properly respond, and
Yes.
instead is going to scream back.
Just, ah.
Yes,
It is
and
going to
their
make an
own
intelligence
blood-curdling
save.
much.
That would have been a
So-
nat 1 if that was an intelligence save. Anyway, so there you go. Lucia, anything you want to do? You have good movement speed. It is about. It was 5 feet away, and it moved another 30. Actually, I'm gonna say it moved technically another 10, and then went into an alley.
I cannot see Lucia chasing this thing by
Okay.
himself.
Okay, and so it is gone. And after, I'm gonna have all of you that failed, that being Elia, Isaac. Because Isaac, you would have been in the cone of this as well, because it is a cone. And then Vaktan, I'm going to need you all to make me that intelligence save again.
Liar is not chasing shit.
Yeah, you're
18.
not going to take the damage again. You said 18?
Yeah.
Okay, you are going to succeed, because that was the DC. And so then you're good. And then Isaac, what'd you get?
21.
21, you're good. So Elia, you're still stunned. Again, no damage taken anymore. But after a few more seconds, about another 30 seconds, you are kind of shaken out of this. But by now, you're fairly certain at the speed it was moving, you'd have to hunt it down. It's probably pretty far. You could get it to it if you knew where it was. But you'd need to know where it is. So with your movement speed, you could get there quickly. You just don't know where it is. So, so there you go. Again, you've never seen anything like this before. I will say you probably haven't even heard stories. Honestly, looking at this thing, but for those of you that saw the ship, you could, I think, reasonably make a connection. The ship, if you rolled high enough, so everyone but Elia, and saw the tentacles on the face, compare that to the tentacles on the ship, there is a connection there. Maybe there's something to that. So, something to keep in mind. And now the man lies dead on the ground. Hole in the back of his head. You can just see it from where you are. With
I feel
that,
like I stumble over and accidentally stick my staff right through the hole and
Oh,
like
no.
trip over.
oh no. Huh. Whew. I just had a thought. Brant, if you're still in chat, you and me need to talk later. Just had a thought. Because I just thought of someone who, yeah, anyway, never mind.
Josh, stop thinking. It's bad for your health.
I know, it hurts. It hurts so bad.
It hurts to hear you think more.
I know, thank you. But yes, so there's that. I think with that, that is a decent place to stop. Kind of end it there, and then we can pick up from there at the next session and what's going to happen with this creature that is now running amok in the city. And what, if anything,
Ooh.
you're going to do. You could decide to ignore it. But maybe it'll be your brain getting munched next. Cruncha, muncha, muncha.
First thing Elia's doing is getting a refund and then running home.
Yeah.
This is only, what, 500 miles away?
Probably. Honestly, if I look, yeah, I mean, if you go on the map, you probably figure out exactly how far it is. Yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna end stream there. Thank you for those that tuned in. Again, it's not next Wednesday, but it's the Wednesday after that is when we'll be having the next one, and then we'll go from there. So I'll talk to you later. Bye bye.